Presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Southwest.
It's been feast or famine at times for this Rangers offense. Yesterday in San Diego was a day no one left hungry. An 11-run explosion helped vanquish the Padres and cap a 9-game road trip. Now the venue shifts to Arlington for a home-and-home where consistency becomes paramount for the Rangers. Will their appetite for success lead to another victory in this AL-NL West showdown? We find out tonight. Welcome to Texas Rangers Baseball, presented by AT&T. Wow, feels good to be home. Globe Life Park. After a long three-city trip out to the West Coast, the Rangers back home tonight for the first of two against the San Diego Padres. And it is the extension of what is a 4-game home-and-home against San Diego. So set to go tonight. We welcome you inside the booth. Great to be with you again tonight, folks. I'm Dave Raymond with CJ Nitkowski. The Rangers coming back after a great 11-0 win yesterday in San Diego. More great pitching. A.J. Griffin with his second career shutout. And that's been the story lately. Good starting pitching for this team.
And this is what the Texas Rangers are going to need as they try to climb back into things in the American League West. The foundation of that starting pitching is so important. It's been a very nice run here as of late as we take a look at the last 6 games and what these starting pitchers have provided. You see the low ERA there. Also, the low walk rate has been very important. We know that's been a little bit of an issue in the bullpen. See the high strike percentage. The Rangers have done a very nice job. And how about A.J. Griffin, who all of a sudden has become the guy who stops losing streaks? A complete game in his last start. Fantastic to watch. He has been very steady, as the rest of the starters have been here so far for the Rangers.
They're very entertaining last night. And of course, A.J. after the game saying, well, what's all this talk about stopping streaks? I want to start streaks. Well, if that's going to be the case, then Yu Darvish will have to piggyback on a great effort from yesterday.
Yeah, all of a sudden now he's got some big shoes here to fill with A.J. Griffin and following him with the great outing that he had. But we know Yu Darvish has that ability. We also know he is legitimately the ace of the staff. He has the ace repertoire. You see the good ERA that he has this year. Now, the strikeout rate is down a little bit, but certainly nothing that is alarming if you are a Ranger fan and keeping a close eye on Yu Darvish. He has still been very, very good. The fastball is live. The slider is still swing and miss. Now, the key for him, we did see that pitch count go up a little bit higher earlier in the season. Being a little bit more efficient with the fastball would be ideal.
Well, it's been all about the power hitters in the first couple of games of this series. Both teams with 3 home runs already. Our spotlight will be trained right on the sluggers when we come back. Internet. Ball is brought to you by AT&T Internet. Visit AT&T.com/keepcalm to learn more. And by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. Well, just about set to go tonight. Opening game of this homestand for the Rangers. Here at Globe Life Park. And the San Diego Padres, our opponent tonight, as we tease just before going to break. It is time now for our Shiner Light Blonde Spotlight, because the Sluggers have been a story in this series.
Yeah, and I think for one of these teams, it's a surprise, and that's the San Diego Padres. The fact that they've hit as many home runs as they have. You see that they're 6th in the National League, but they have also allowed a bunch of home runs. And we talk about a ballpark out in San Diego as one that is not necessarily home run friendly, but it has been so far this year. And the Rangers, we expected them to be a power team this year. They have been so far. One thing they'd love to do is maybe cut down on the strikeouts a little bit to go along with the home runs, but they have been fantastic. The 43 allowed as well. As long as you're in the plus side, right? We don't really do a plus minus like in the way that they may do in football and giveaways and takeaways, but they are on the home run side in the plus. They certainly would love to continue to build on that.
So they will try to do so tonight against Luis Perdomo, who has the start for the Padres. Yu Darvish has the ball for the Rangers, and we were just talking about how the starting pitching has been so good lately for the Rangers. And yes, Rangers come in 14-20. They are 8.5 back in the American League West. But for me, CJ, if there's one source of optimism, one reason why you would continue to believe, it's the starting pitching.
You can win with starting pitching, and it becomes so important. Think about this: if the starting pitching was struggling, right, and you're down in the division, you're not where you want to be, but your rotation was a mess. That's going to make guys a little bit more discouraged. There may not be nearly as much hope at the thought and the idea of getting back in the division race, but that's not the case here at all with the Rangers. They have been very good with that starting rotation. They need that to continue. This has kind of been a season so far, the way that it started out, where you're just kind of waiting for everything to kind of come together at the same time, right? I mean, obviously we talk about the power, and bullpen has had some of their struggles. Get everything going at the right time. There is enough here on this roster to win, and to win this division. Just hasn't all clicked just yet in Texas.
Well, the beginning of a long homestand as we take a look at the Padres starting lineup. Margot leading it off in center field. Corey Spangenberg on a nice 8-game hitting streak lately, and he's been swinging it real well. Will Myers, Solarte, and Schimpf in the middle of the order. Eric Ibar starting at shortstop today. Hunter Renfroe has been hitting the long ball. Matt Caesar, and then Torrens, the catcher. He's had a tough go of it at the plate, just 1 for 15 so far this year.
Yeah, these guys will have their hands full tonight with Yu Darvish as we take a look at the pitch arsenal, and it ends up being mostly of that 4-seam fastball and the slider. We hear so much about the depth of the repertoire that Yu Darvish has, but this is how he gets guys out the most with those top 2 pitches. You'll see that cutter as well, the slow curveball, the 2-seam fastball, but it's the power 4-seamer and the slider that is the deadly combination for Yu Darvish. And how about the Rangers defense, which is delivered to you by DeMontron RV. Delano DeShields in left, Carlos Gomez in center, Nomar Mazara in right. Pretty standard defense, and what you guys have seen for a lot of the season. Jonathan Lucroy will be behind the plate tonight working with Yu Darvish.
Well, Darvish is going for his 50th win tonight. He's already established himself as one of the best who's ever pitched here, and in fact already has the record for most strikeouts in this ballpark.
Yeah, it didn't take very long. You look at Yu Darvish compared to Kenny Rogers and Colby Lewis, and Yu Darvish has made it happen in a hurry. Look at that, 57 games compared to the 113 from Kenny Rogers. Of course, Colby Lewis, one of the greats to come through here as a starting pitcher with the Texas Rangers. Your top 3 in all-time strikeouts here, Globe Life.
All right, well, he is set to go. Darvish, the 30-year-old right-hander, his 8th start of the season. And he'll start us off tonight with a strike to Manuel Margot.
Now, I heard you talking about it in Yu Darvish's last start. That article that was on Fangraphs about the strangeness of the first batter versus Yu Darvish. Maybe he can solve that tonight.
Well, he's jumped ahead here 0-2. And the basics of that article is that he has massive command problems against the first batter of the ball game, but then everything else is good from there. This year, though, he has not had that problem. If you look at the numbers this year, that trend hasn't really held up. And he gets Margot to pop this one up. Out into short right. Odor with plenty of time to get out there, and there's one away. So that high on base percentage for the leadoff hitter, not going to be an issue in this one tonight for Darvish. We'll contend with Corey Spangenberg now, and Spangenberg, we mentioned, with an 8-game hitting streak and really swinging the bat pretty well for them. Spangenberg on this streak hitting .357. And he got his first home run of the year back in San Diego. He just came from 2 games there. He hit a solo shot in the 7th inning on Monday night and hits his ball sharply foul.
And when the San Diego Padres started the season, nobody was expecting them to contend by any means, but just because you're not winning doesn't mean there's not a lot that can be accomplished over the course of the season. And for a lot of these players in the lineup, it's an opportunity to get steady playing time. I think Spangenberg is a perfect example of that, as a guy that continues to try to establish himself at the big league level, but so far he's done a nice job of taking advantage of the opportunities he's getting here with the Padres.
Andy Green, their manager, and he has a very young crew and he's overseeing this year. Way inside on Spangenberg, the count 2-1. They lost 94 games last year in his first year as a big league manager. This year 13 wins, 21 losses, and though it has not been a very good start at all for the San Diego Padres, they are still 2 games in front of one of the favorites in the division this year coming in, and that was the San Francisco Giants. The Giants are 11-23. And the Giants, the only team in all of Major League Baseball, I checked that, there are 2 teams in baseball with a double-digit deficit at this point. They're 10 games out.
They've been a disaster as the injuries pile up. Of course, the huge Madison Bumgarner news has been an issue. The starting rotation has just not lived up to expectations in San Francisco, and that's part of the reason why they've gotten off to such a terrible start.
Three balls and a strike on Spangenberg. And it's a full count.
And interesting to see that register as a cutter, 90 miles an hour from Yu Darvish, but tremendous movement on that pitch. And interesting because it was a 3-1 count. And you think early in the game, okay, just fall behind a guy, you want to just throw that fastball, but Yu Darvish was obviously feeling much more comfortable throwing that cutter in the 3-1 count.
Payoff pitch. He went around. That one does jump away from Lucroy, so he'll have to make that throw down to first. But Spangenberg, a strikeout victim, and there are 2 away.
Well, Yu Darvish will certainly take this after falling behind 3-1. He comes back with 2 breaking balls. Both of them were out of the zone, but Spangenberg obviously was not recognizing that pitch very well. He swung through the 3-1, tried to hold up his swing on the 3-2, but absolutely had no chance. He definitely went around, and that'll just give you an idea how tight that rotation is on that cutter from Yu Darvish.
So 2 up, 2 down. And now Darvish against Will Myers, right-handed hitter.
Looked a little tardy on that 96-mile-an-hour fastball that Yu Darvish ran up and in. Will Myers, of course, one of the bright spots here for the San Diego Padres, and a guy that they recognize as a franchise guy, locked him in to a contract through 2022 with an option, and he's quickly down 0-2 all of a sudden now against Yu Darvish.
Late on the fastball, a little jammed up on the slider. So Darvish already with 1 strikeout so far tonight. Myers, a guy who does strike out a lot, 40 times this year. And the 0-2. They wouldn't chase.
Yeah, this is not a great matchup for Will Myers. You mentioned the swing and miss. He tied the San Diego Padres single season record a year ago, tied Mike Cameron with his 160 strikeouts. And you see Yu Darvish trying to get him a chase up and away in that 0-2 count. That is a weak spot for Will Myers.
Just misses in.
Oh, I think Will Myers thought that was a strike. As you see this, a break ball. Now we tried to throw it away and it ended up finishing on the inside part of the plate, but Will Myers' reaction told me that he may have thought that was a strike and realized, at least for now, that he's dodged a bullet.
So Darvish again, his 2-2. And he misses one more time. Not by much. He's right in on that inside edge.
Darvish is feeling it with the breaking ball. You see the way Jonathan Lucroy tried to catch that. That again tells you how nasty the break is on his slider and his cutter so far tonight.
Now the 3-2. And this ball is hammered high in the air, out to deep left field, and it is gone. Wow. He does strike out a lot, but Will Myers has great power as well. His 8th home run of the year, and San Diego on the board first.
We saw Will Myers get beat badly by a fastball first pitch of this at bat, but he decides 3-2, sit fastball, get it started early, and you mentioned the power, and that ball was right down the middle, and he was able to get the barrel of the bat to the Darvish fastball and get it well out of here at Globe Life.
So now Solarte, and he'll rip this one foul. On Hervis, Solarte, 264 average. Getting on base at a decent clip. Yesterday finished 0 for 3 in our afternoon game out at San Diego. He did have a hit in Monday night's game. And they want an appeal on this one, but Tim Timmons says he didn't go.
And anytime that much time passes in between the actual appeal when people are asking for it, at the time that pitch ended, it's rare that you're going to get it called if an umpire doesn't ask for it right away.
One and two on Solarte. So I've heard that forever, and it's, you know, you watch enough games, it's an easy observation to make. I don't get it. Well, just because it takes a little longer to make the appeal doesn't really change the evidence.
I don't know if there's a momentum thing there sometimes for umpires. I'm sure they would tell you that there isn't. When you're down the line, you wait, you saw what you saw, and if the request comes late, you would think that they'd still be able to make the correct call regardless. But it's just one of those things where you kind of fall into that habit, almost like the 3-0 pitch, right? Like the 3-0 pitch more often than not is going to be strike as long as it's close. You throw that same pitch, the one that was just off, and try to do that 0-2, you're not getting that call. It's just not going to happen. And so it's just kind of one of those strange things I think that happens with umpires.
This has now turned into a 20-pitch first inning for Darvish, and a slow roller out towards second. Odor is there, and it ends the inning. But Will Myers really battled, came up with a home run, and San Diego leads 1-0. Diego, and now the Rangers will go to work. Let's take a look at our Southwest starting lineup for the Rangers. Shin-Soo Choo back in that leadoff spot again, and you see a lot of lefties up at the top of the order. against today's Padres starter. Mazara batting third, Odor batting fifth. Joey Gallo in there batting eighth today with his 3 home runs and 7 RBIs in his last 6 games.
Yeah, not surprising to see those lefties because they're going up against the righty. Luis Perdomo, and you see right there the 2-seam fastball and the curveball. That is pretty much what you're going to see. Those are his 2 strongest pitches. The fastball, the 2-seamer, is legit. The breaking ball is very good as well. But you throw those lefties in there because he just doesn't use the changeup that much. You see it at 4%, and more often than not for right-handed starters, that is the pitch that you use to neutralize left-handed hitters. Well, it's one that he's just not comfortable using that much, and the numbers have proven that lefties are much better against Perdomo.
Well, there's a base hit for a lefty as Chu loses the bat, but fights that one off through the shortstop position, and he is on to start the first.
How frustrating for a pitcher. First batter of the game, you execute your pitch, and it's going to be that 2-seam fastball with some good movement. You end up breaking a bat. You get a weak ground ball to shortstop, but there's nobody there. Just an umpire standing at the standard shortstop position, and that's a great job by Chu beating the shift. There's the numbers right there I was talking about. And that's why every lefty that Jeff Bannister has is in the game. I wouldn't be surprised if they try to maybe call a couple up for a game like this. Perdomo has dominated right-handers, and again, it's because of the really good 2-seamers, because of the breaking ball, but lefties have been a thorn in his side so far this season.
Elvis Andrus takes one low and in. Elvis hitting .279, bats in the 2-hole tonight. 5 homers, 13 RBIs. He's getting on base. Was 1 for 4 yesterday with a walk and a run scored. And one of the few who had a consistently good road trip. And this bouncer off the glove of Perdomo. And it glances into the outfield. Chu will go to third, and the Rangers have the first 2 men on.
You saw an immediate reaction here from Perdomo as to say, I probably shouldn't have caught that ball, or catch it clean or don't touch it, but you're not really thinking about that. You're reacting, and it looked like this could have been a double play off the bat. As you see the swing there from Elvis Andrus. Watch Perdomo touch it, change directions on the ball. And because of that, no chance to be able to get at least 1 out. Solarte probably thinking he had a chance to turn 2, but again, you're gonna react. You always do as a pitcher, and you like to catch it clean. But he probably knocked that ball into the outfield. Now cost himself a first and third with nobody out in the first.
Well, be interesting to see now if the Rangers could take advantage. And this one way inside, and streaking in from home is Chu. The throw to the plate, not in time. So the wild pitch gets the Rangers on the board, and it's a new game.
Take it any way that you can get it. This place is actually, this play a little bit closer than I think we expected it to be at home. You see Shin-Soo Choo, not a great secondary lead necessarily, and the ball did not go nearly as far away from the catcher in that spot, Torrens. What looked like might have been an easy run. Shin-Soo Choo had to work to get there in time, and he does.
Yeah, sometimes if you throw it hard enough and wild enough, you'll get a good bounce off the backstop.
That certainly helps.
So that's a big run. Rangers come right back to answer the Will Myers homer. Andrus now in scoring position for Nomar Mazara. Well, when we were in San Diego Monday night, Padres won the opener 5-1. Yesterday, Rangers came back for a terrific 11-0 win to even the series. And now both teams scoring in the first, but the first inning still going for Texas. 1-1 on Nomar Mazara. Nomar hitting .230 coming to play today. You can see he's done really well when given an opportunity to drive in a run. To wit, he is 9th in the American League with 23 RBIs. Mazara got a couple of days off on that road trip. An unplug, as Jeff Bannister likes to occasionally call it. And he did that last year with Prince Fielder. Did it on this last road trip for Nomar Mazara. Just give a guy a little distance from the game. Maybe clear his mind, see how he responds. Yesterday was back in the lineup. Went 1 for 5 with a double, drove in a couple more runs.
And sometimes those breaks, how you evaluate what happens afterwards, isn't necessarily all about hits. Those are nice to see, but it's also where a guy is mentally, what the swing looks like, how he's taking pitches. All of those things come into play.
A swing and a miss at strike 3. And that is the first out of the inning.
Let's take a look at what the San Diego Padres will be throwing out there defensively, what they have thrown out there ready to start this game. And you see Matt Caesar in left. That's a new acquisition for the San Diego Padres. He comes over from the Chicago Cubs, and he's got to be thrilled. Listen, you love the idea of course, playing with the Cubs and getting a ring last year, but more consistent playing time. Matt Caesar's not going to find himself a lot of consistent playing time with the depth of that Chicago Cubs outfield right now. So, got your ring? Go ahead now. Come over to San Diego and get yourself some playing time.
Yeah, and into a situation here where the Padres need a lot of help in their outfield. Some injuries have opened up opportunity, and Caesar able to step right in. Well, here's Carlos Gomez. Average has dropped precipitously down to 226, 4 home runs. He's got Andrus at second. 1-1 the count. Carlos with just a couple of hits in his last 17 at bats. It's over a 5-game stretch. Batting clean up tonight. Does have that great power. Is it a hole 1 and 2?
I think Carlos Gomez and Nomar Mazara have given you a pretty good idea how good that breaking ball is. As they chase that below the zone, Nomar struck out on one. They had a hard time laying off another. Carlos Gomez swinging at 2 of those so far. It's a breaking pitch with some really, really tight spin on it, and one that Perdomo knows how to use as far as how he locates it below the zone.
1-2 to Gomez, and he got him swinging. That was in the dirt, so they do have to make the throw, but there are now 2 gone in the first inning.
Right on cue, another breaking ball here from Perdomo, and he knows that Carlos Gomez is an aggressive hitter. And for Carlos, that looks like a fastball down and away about halfway there, and as you start to commit, you realize it's a breaking ball, but it's too late, and he's unable to lay off the breaking ball in the dirt. Put yourself a little bit in the mind of Perdomo this first inning, right? Broken bat, base hit, straight away, shortstop, nobody's there. Ground ball that you deflect turns into a first and third and a wild pitch. I mean, he's really, in his mind, has had 4 quality at bats where they easily could have been outs and has gotten 4 outs. And so far, he's done a nice job of bouncing back after the wild pitch.
Jumps ahead of Rougned Odor now. Rugi at 193 with the 6 home runs. 2 for 5 yesterday. Scored a couple of times. Got started and too late on that appeal. 1-1. Got to get to him quicker.
I think that might have been in the time frame. Close.
By the way, this is our same umpiring crew that was with us for the first 2 in San Diego. You don't see that a whole lot, but in these 4 games that are split 2 and 2, they will travel. James Hoy, our plate umpire tonight. Perdomo, it's Odor to swing and miss. It's 1-2.
And Rougned Odor right now down in the count 1-2, but he has yet to see a pitch in the strike zone. Now for Perdomo, it becomes a matter of doing your homework, understanding your hitters, but based on what Odor has shown him so far, it would be a mistake to throw a pitch in the zone right now.
Andrus, he's caught, and he'll be run back towards second. And now the pickle. And the tag missed. But they're going to say that Andrus out of the baseline that he established. Boy, that's an interesting one. If he got out of the line, he didn't get out of it by far. But that will do it. Rangers get the run back. We go to the second.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Rangers and Padres play again tomorrow night.
People have to understand the baseline is what the base runner creates, and so Elvis Andrus has created a baseline here and how he's going to run between the two bases. So watch it right here. From there, it's only 3 feet. That's what the baseline is, and I don't believe that Elvis Andrus got out of the baseline by any means as you watch the rest of this play. And listen, it's a bad play getting picked off, but he at least attempted to maybe try to turn it in to something good. So I don't know if I necessarily agree with that being called out of the baseline. You get 3 feet in either direction, and the base runner creates the baseline. It is not a straight line from second base to third base, although in that case it kind of was based on the way that Elvis ran.
Yeah, he kept it pretty straight right there along that inside edge of the grass, but spinning out of the way there, it's close. I mean, it's not one of those things that is, I suppose, at the end of the day, terribly material. He was likely to be out in another throw anyway, but that was an unfortunate way for the bottom of the first to end. Rangers had to settle for the run. 1-1 our score. And Ryan Schimpf leads off this second. And he has some good power in his bat, but he'll go down looking. Second strikeout for Darvish.
Darvish in this bat decided to break out the slow curveball, and there it is. And when you're thinking about the really good Darvish fastball and the really good slider, and then he flips that little thing, and that's kind of AJ Griffin-esque right there, the slow curveball catching guys off guard.
Yeah, it's a pretty good comp. Very similar in their curveballs. Big, slow, high 60s in terms of velocity. And that guy was dominant yesterday. An 11-0 shutout as Ibar takes a hefty swing here and launches this one out to right field and into the upper deck. So Ibar ambushing Darvish, and it makes it 2-1 San Diego.
Of all the guys that you were worried about here in the San Diego Padres lineup, Eric Ibar going deep against Darvish, not necessarily something that you were really going to concern yourself with. This is a fastball that stayed up over the plate. Darvish was trying to go down and in, but power has never been a big part of Eric Ibar's game, although that is his 4th home run of the season. But this is a guy who hit 10 home runs once in his career.
Hunter Renfroe And he bounces one foul. Renfroe, a 200 average with 5 home runs this year. It's an interesting Padres team. They have a very low team batting average, low on base percentage, but they hit a lot of home runs.
Which again is not really ideal for their ballpark. Right, think about the big ballpark. It's a little bit tougher to hit home runs in. I guess if you're going to follow a model of power, there's one right there. Mark McGwire, their hitting coach, one of 2 hitting coaches that they have there. Alan Zinter is the other. It's become so popular now in baseball where you have multiple hitting coaches because there's so much work to be done, and sometimes a different voice is helpful, but that certainly would be a good one to listen to.
0-2 to Renfroe.
Hardest out I've ever let up. Mark McGwire.
McGwire?
Pretty confident he knocked down Derek Bell in right field when that line. He caught it. It was an out, but he almost killed Derek Bell in the process.
1-2 pitch, and that ball hit hard out to left field, coming on for it and into a slide to Shields. Drops it. Nope, he got it. Second base umpire Jeff Kellogg kind of delayed, but sticks the right hand up, and that will be the second out of the inning, if indeed the Padres don't contest it.
Well, let's check this out, because you're going to see this ball pop up, and it's a matter of whether or not it actually hit the ground. You see Delino get it here, but the ball came up in the air, and yeah, that is going to be turned over, and the Padres saw it right away. That whole bench got up. Delino almost makes this great play. He has it, but the ground causes the fumble, and ultimately it's going to cause this base hit.
So they will review it. Padres using their challenge in the second inning, and it will not take long.
Now it gives me time to correct myself. Of course, Mark McGwire now is actually the bench coach. You look at him, of course, when we think about the great offense, but that's just another great voice that they have. And you wonder about him being a bench coach, whether or not he actually has managerial aspirations. When you think about great hitters, and obviously that is Mark McGwire's forte, but taking the bench coach job makes you think maybe someday he'd like to be a manager.
And there you go. They do overturn the call, and Renfroe has the base hit. Yeah, so in the case of McGwire, he was 3 years a hitting coach in St. Louis. I believe 3 years a hitting coach in Los Angeles with the Dodgers. And now, as you point out, maybe aspiring for a little bit more and angling more toward a manager's position. The bench coach here for Andy Green. But now Matt Caesar. And that hard fastball in the dirt almost tied up Lucroy. Ball 1 to Caesar.
Jonathan Lucroy is going to go out and just slow Yu Darvish down here a little bit. The missed spot to Eric Ibar led to a home run, and even though Delino almost made a great play, that ball was pretty well struck, and so he just wants to make sure that Yu Darvish is staying calm, don't start going too fast. The idea of rushing pitches, and that's usually when you make mistakes. So Lucroy obviously saw something there that he felt he needed to relay to Yu Darvish.
1-1, and that one is sent out toward right field, and it's going to drop in and go all the way to the fence. Renfroe into third. They'll wave him to the plate. Here comes the relay. It's offline. Caesar drives in a run with his double, and it's 3-1 San Diego.
The 6, 7, and 8 hitters in this lineup all came in hitting an even 200, but have done some damage here in the second inning with a home run, a single, and now this double from Matt Caesar. And that's actually not a terrible pitch. It's down. He does a nice job of going down and getting it and squaring it up and finding a big hole in the right center field gap.
Brent Hoffman knew all the way that he was going to be waving Renfroe in. And he scored from first on the double. Now Luis Torrens, their catcher, who has really struggled at the plate, hits this one down to first. Napoli, though, there to corral it and puts Torrens out for the second out of the inning.
And I think the Padres have also tipped their hand a little bit, especially what we've seen now in the bottom of the order, where these guys have come out hacking. They're not going to wait around. When you're facing great strikeout pitchers, much like you, Darvish, is, you know, if he gets you deep in the count, he's going to be able to put you away. He's done it time and time again. And so when you're a bottom of the order hitter and you've seen the numbers and some of these batting averages, you see something you like, you're going to go after it early, and that's exactly what the Padres have done here so far.
Well, one time through the order, 4 hits and a couple of home runs. And there's a breaking ball in there for a strike to Margot. Margot popped up in the first. He's 0 for 1. In a hole here, no balls and 2 strikes. Well, the veteran Yu Darvish, 8th start of the year, but it's been a rocky start so far tonight against a very young Padres team that has come out hacking. Breaking ball, and that one is lined foul. Pretty well struck. Darvish used more than 20 pitches in the first inning, or exactly 20 pitches in the first inning, and 15 so far here in the second. A bit of a labor early on for him. And Margot continues to make him work.
You see Yu Darvish going to the breaking pitches now a lot more. When you see some of that hard contact, especially on the fastball, Will Myers hit the fastball, Eric Ibar hit the fastball. Start to change it up here a little bit. Four pitches in this at bat, 3 of them have been sliders.
This one rolled slowly toward third. Gallo has to hustle it across the diamond and gets Margot to end the inning. But the Padres get 2 more, and after 1.5, they lead 3-1. As we go to the bottom of the second inning, tomorrow is Ozarka Online Ticket Thursday. Rangers and Padres final game in this series. And tickets for all Thursday home games are half price in upper reserved upper box and Lexus Club Terrace. Just go to texasrangers.com/specials and use the coupon code Ozarka to redeem this offer. Luis Perdomo gave up a run in the first, and now we'll deal with the 5, 6, and 7 hitters. Fresh count for Odor, who was at the plate when Andrews was picked off to end the inning.
And he chased a breaking ball out of the zone, chased a fastball out of the zone, and What does Perdomo do? Come back and just kind of flip him that get me over breaking ball. That may be the last strike that Odor sees.
1-1 the count.
So the patience becomes really important. We know that Rougned Odor and a lot of other guys in the Ranger lineup are aggressive, looking for pitches to put big hacks on. And so now the goal here for him is to try to lay off these pitches out of the zone.
Drives this one out to right field. Coming on for it is Renfroe. He knocks it down but can't get it cleanly. Odor goes for 2 and he's in there.
Well, what great hustle, first of all, here by Rougned Odor out of the box and making no assumptions as he watches Will Myers come over and try to make a great play on this line drive. Excuse me, Renfroe, you see him right there. Pretty good read on it. Just missed it, but a lot of guys not thinking too out of the box, but Odor all over it. And great aggressiveness on the base pass and leadoff double.
A great hustle double for Odor, and now Jonathan Lucroy. Rangers got a run in the first with a couple of hits, already 3 hits so far tonight against Perdomo. So both teams have come out swinging. Lucroy did not play yesterday. Got the day off on a day game. I mean, and an early day game following our night game on Monday. And asked for time, and it's granted.
How great is it to have that day game when you're in San Diego, having to travel afterwards like the Rangers and the Padres had yesterday? You're going to see a lot of that next year as well. There's going to be also 4 additional off days that are going to be built into the schedule to try to make things a little bit easier on the travel side, especially for these teams in the American League West, where for the Astros and for the Rangers, you got to hop 2 time zones, which can really catch up to you over the course of the season.
Oh, Rangers have already had 2 West Coast trips already here at the front of the season, and those do come at a price. So 1-1 in the dirt, and so Lucroy works ahead in the count now.
And the Seattle Mariners could care less. They're not going to feel bad for the Rangers, and the Tampa Bay Rays are not going to feel bad for the Rangers when you think about playing for some of the teams that are in the corners of the United States and what the travel can be for the Boston Red Sox and those other clubs that I mentioned. So I think the change in schedule next year, more day games on getaway days, is going to be a welcome one by a lot of players.
2-1 pitch, and that's way inside. So Perdomo having a little trouble here with Lucroy.
And who doesn't love day baseball, right? I mean,
everybody loves it.
You and I don't have regular jobs, so we're home around during the day. We love it. We love being able to flip on our TV at 1 o'clock in the afternoon and watch a game.
Yeah, there's no question. 3-1 pitch, and Perdomo gets a corner. So Lucroy, after the off day yesterday, now he's 2 for his last 15 in the last 4 games. Had 5 hits on that road trip. His story, a similar one to many in this lineup. A slow start has him at 214 coming in. And he'll draw the walk, so a double and a walk to get things started in the second. All right, so let's take a look at our AT&T matchup for tomorrow. It's the final game in this home and home. Clayton Richard, there's, not a lot of surprise that he was moved up to start tomorrow's game. Martin Perez will take the ball for the Rangers. Rangers have had a little trouble against left-handed pitching, and the Padres, try and take advantage of that.
I think anytime a team can do that, there's an opportunity to rearrange their rotation, whether it be because of rainouts or off days, and they know they can throw a lefty over a righty against the Rangers. Yes, that is something that they will have to deal with this season until they show the league otherwise that they'll get a little bit better against those left-handed starters.
Mike Napoli, 164.
I mean, let's be honest too, the all lefty matchup, it's the way God intended baseball to be played, as you know, of course.
Now you might be taking some additional liberties here. Was on board with the day baseball. 1-1 the count. When you talk about what the baseball gods really want, that's what they want. Beautiful evening, Globe Life Park, little breeze, comfy weather, and a gorgeous venue to watch the game. A 1-1 bounced down to third. They'll go to second for one. Solarte's turn in time for the double play. So 5-4-3. Odor is at third base, but suddenly two out.
Saw some instant frustration here from Mike Napoli. As soon as he hit this ball, he knew it was going to be most likely a double play, as that is just a perfect hop and all day long for the San Diego Padres. But watch Mike Napoli. Thought I saw a reaction from him right away, and just some frustration with the head down, knowing that was likely going to be 2 outs.
So Perdomo gets the big ground ball. And now here's Joey Gallo.
See another catcher meeting there. That has been a point of discussion. You think about, okay, well, you just got a double play. You've already gone over your hitters before the game. And yes, you got to be careful here with Joey Gallo. We know Perdomo has struggled against lefties, but the idea that Torrance has to go out there and have a conversation, I know was something that our commissioner Rob Manfred would like to see go away. And I will tell you that when I was playing, the thought would have never crossed my mind of limiting how often the catcher can go out and talk to the pitcher, but it kind of makes sense. Okay. It's unlimited timeouts here in baseball.
No, I agree. And I think it's a pretty easy argument to make and to get behind. But here's my question: as a former pitcher, CJ, how much did you need or want those visits?
About half the time. Or I just might pick up on this. I'm not a great listener anyway. The guy's talking, and so if your heart's already racing and it's the middle of the game, it's just kind of in one ear and out the other. There's times where it matters, and it could be a simple message of, hey, let's be careful with the lefty here. Obviously, Joey Gallo's got some great power. Maybe we go after the righty on deck with that runner on third base, but whatever it may be. But it probably doesn't need to happen nearly as much as it does, right? You've done all this pregame. You've gone through it, how you want to treat hitters, or you can just give this sign, hey, be smart here, think about it. Got this guy, you point to the guy on deck.
Would you listen to that?
Well, I couldn't be smart. You can't just tell somebody to be smart. It doesn't usually work that way. Otherwise, I would really probably be super smart right now, as much as people have told me. Just be smart. Oh, thanks. It's that simple, huh?
Well, a man at third, 2 out, and I'm not real sure what the dance that James Hoy is doing right now, looking back into the Rangers dugout.
What they wanted was the ball call, and they didn't get it, and he was explaining exactly what Perdomo did.
Pantomiming it, for crying out loud. Strikeout ends the inning. Odor left at third. We've played 2. To say hello to Leslie McCaslin. Hi, Leslie.
Hi guys, how's it going? The rain's about to start falling here as well. I'm not sure if you can see it, but I want to tell you tonight, State Farm winning combination is pitching and hitting. I talked to Carlos Gomez before the game, and of course they're coming off that road trip where they won just 3 of 9 games. He said really the problem was that they didn't put a whole game together. When they pitched well, they didn't hit well. When they hit well, they didn't pitch well. He said it's impossible to win that way. You have to do a little bit of everything. So again, pitching and hitting, big for the Rangers tonight and going forward, but he said it's still early. They believe in each other, and that when they get things going and that things start to click, that this team is going to be very hard to beat, Dave.
All right, thanks, Leslie. We get going here in the third. Corey Spangenberg takes a strike. Fainting as if he was going to bunt. Spangenberg struck out in the first inning. Darvish misses badly. Darvish with a couple of strikeouts here early on, but has not looked real sharp. It's early, but he seems to be struggling a little with command.
Yeah, I think early on, and we saw, and I mentioned it last inning, where we saw him going to those breaking balls a little bit more. It does talk about a lot more often than not, kind of speaking to maybe the struggle or not quite feeling the fastball, which we have seen from you, Darvish, over the course of the season, where sometimes the fastball strike rate is lower, strike percentage. We've seen it, sometimes around 50-55%. He certainly would like it to be a little bit higher than that, but the depth of the repertoire is usually what gets him out of trouble, as we see him throw that breaking ball down and in to the lefty.
Strikes out Spangenberg for a second time tonight.
This is what's so deadly about the slider, the idea of burying it, what we call that back foot slider. Starts out a strike, finishes a ball both inside and down, and Spangenberg just swings right over the top of it. Concerned about Leslie's report of rain. Caught me off guard a little bit where she's
jammed me up.
She said it's coming. That's what?
Better not be. We don't need any of that. So 1 out, and here's Myers. He had the home run back in the first inning, and this is let's get the way back. Here it is, back in the first.
Well, he got himself in a 3-2 count, and he sat fastball. He got it started early, got that foot down. Very little movement from Will Myers. He is short to the ball, but we know that he has shown power. You see the exit velocity there, 109, right around where you're going to see most well-hit home runs, usually in that 102 to 115 range. But he got beat so bad on the fastball earlier in the count, but in that situation, 3-2, he decided he was sitting fastball. He cheated. Got it started early and got to it.
Well, here he is again, working from behind in the count, 0-2. And it really did look in the first inning like Darvish was going to carve him up. But Myers battled his way into getting a pitch to hit. Now it's a ball and 2 strikes.
And just because Will Myers hit a fastball out does not mean that he can't throw him a fastball. Look at the range, 97 miles an hour, high end of the fastball, 73 miles an hour, the low end of the breaking ball. We talk about this a lot with you, Darvish. You're talking about a 24-mile-an-hour range between his slowest breaking pitch and his hardest fastball.
This ball hit out towards center, but that's not going to carry for him. Gomez underneath, and there are 2 out. All right, time for us to take a Chevy game break. Let's send it back to Dana Larson.
Second baseman on Harry's Solarte.
Hey, didn't you say in the pregame they stink?
I was just going to jump you on that one. You were ready to bury
Beat you
them
to
earlier
it, buddy.
today.
Christian Arroyo's been a really good story. Their former first-round pick and a guy who's a shortstop. Well, there's no place to play, obviously, as a shortstop in San Francisco, but all he has done is swung the bat. And in the National League West right now, some really good rookies. We talk about some guys that we're seeing here in San Diego, but Arroyo has been really good. Bellinger has been really good. People wondering, is he going to take over first base? Cody Bellinger with Adrian Gonzalez on the DL. All he's done is crushed since he has gotten called up.
1 strike pitch from Solarte, or rather from Darvish to Solarte, and that's fouled away. Two out here in the third inning. The Padres jumped out early today. Darvish trying to get back on track. He has retired 4 consecutive hitters now and has 3 strikeouts for the evening. And the big right hitter's 0-2 on the way. We've seen a couple of those today getting away from Lucroy. It just says very little about Lucroy. It speaks volumes about what Darvish is doing out there on the mound.
0-2 counts a lot of times, right? We never want to see a pitcher throw a strike. You want to set something up. But that 2-seamer was so far away and so far in the dirt that it probably did not accomplish exactly what you, Darvish, and Jonathan Lucroy wanted to do. But they're going to go back to the curveball. We'll see if that sets it up. Oh, man.
And there's a 4th strikeout of the night for Darvish. Takes care of Solarte, works through the Padres in order in the 3rd. Rangers down by 2. For the unlimited baseball break, brought to you by T-Mobile, and here's some news and notes. The Orioles with the best overall record in Major League Baseball. Another walk-off win yesterday. How about the way they have been playing? 22-10 and on a 6-game winning streak. Pujols still inching his way toward 600. Homered last night. And Buster Posey's homered in 3 straight for the Giants, but hasn't helped a lot. They've lost 5 in a row coming into play today. We're 12 games under 500, so interesting. You know, early in the season, you see a lot of weird stuff. As Delano DeShields leads things off here in the 3rd inning. It'll be Delano, and then back up to the top of the order, Chu and Andrews. Well, Tapper down the 3rd baseline. That's going to be trouble. If it stays fair, that'll be a hit, and it is just foul.
You see Spangenberg, and he knew that he had absolutely no chance at throwing out Delano DeShields. The swinging bunt, and go ahead and let it roll foul. At least see if it will roll foul. And take that chance. It didn't. I tell you what, when I first saw it, didn't look like it was going to go. Look how far on the grass that ball is, but just got there enough. It trickles into foul territory.
Now, smart play by Spangenberg. DeShields will be back in the box with a count of 1-1. Delano's on base percentage is now down at .310. Now he's batting 9th today, largely because he is a right-handed hitter against this right-hander Perdomo, whereas the left-hander Chu getting on base regularly and is a real good matchup for Perdomo. But it still works out. Here it is, leading off this inning.
Yeah, you don't worry about it too much. Whenever you have a guy, in my opinion, that can hit leadoff, but for whatever reason, whether it's that day or just you have a guy that's better in that spot, I like the idea of batting him 9th over, say, 7th or 8th, because it's rare that they actually lead off an inning.
Fly ball out there to Margot, and DeShields out to start the third. And so we do get around now to the top of the order. 3-1, San Diego leading behind this young man here, Luis Perdomo, just 23 years old, making his 5th start of the year. No wins, no losses yet for him, an ERA just a smidge over 4. And he was a Rule 5 draftee. Turns out the Rockies drafted him out of the Rule 5 from St. Louis in the 2015 draft. And then, but the whole thing was engineered beforehand. Padres wanted him, so they traded a pretty good Double-A player for the rights to Perdomo. Kept him on the roster all last year as a 22-year-old.
Yeah, and it looks like it's working out. He actually just turned 24 yesterday.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I mean, it does make sense when you see the stuff now, right? And you see the great arm, and you can see why they would do that. But at first glance, Double-A prospect, it's not really somebody you want to trade for a Rule 5 pick that another team wasn't even willing to protect. But you got to credit the Padres and their scouting staff and what they saw, the reports that they had on Perdomo, and it's looking like it's, without a doubt, has been a successful Rule 5 move for them.
And worth explaining too, the Rule 5 draft happens right around the baseball winter meetings in December. Guys not protected on the 40-man roster could be exposed to that draft. But the deal is, if you draft a guy and you've got to put him on your 40-man roster, and he's got to stay on your 25-man roster all year. If you remove him from the 25-man roster, you have to offer him back to his original club fundamentally for free. As Chu lines one into right field, and he's 2 for 2.
Yeah, and that's why you see so few success stories more often than not. When you have a player that goes to the Rule 5, he gets sent back in spring training, or if he does make the team and you keep him. We saw it earlier this year, right, with Mike Hochschild eventually getting sent back after a little bit of time here with the Rangers, but goes back. Offered back to the Astros. They said, yes, we want him back, and so they took him back. A lot of times you'll see Rule 5 picks, ones that do stick on the big league roster. They're going to DL over the course of the year and kind of wink, wink, he's hurt, just to be able to keep him and try to kill some time if you can. But it's pretty difficult to be able to find a Rule 5 pick, and you don't see it too often where they've been impact players at the big league level, right? Johan Santana, I think, is one of the
it's one of the
greatest of all time. But it doesn't happen too often. It's hard to do. Now, also understanding part of that is that starts after a certain amount of time you spent in the organization, right? I think it's believed it's for college players. You got to have 3 full seasons. Right. If you draft out of high school, it's got to be 4 full seasons before you're even eligible for the Rule 5. But it's nice for players. It protects them from getting buried, right? There's 6 years of free agency at the minor league level, another 6 at the big league level. A team could keep you theoretically for 12 years if they wanted to, but if you're doing really well and they don't put you on the 40-man roster, you become exposed and at least have an opportunity to change organizations.
Perdomo's 1-0. And that'll even it up on Andrews. Andrews did have a base hit in the first inning. Perdomo has some baseball lineage. He is the nephew of Luis Perdomo, who used to pitch for the Padres back in 2009 and 10. Long look at first. Andrews with a bouncer second base. Solarte to the bag 1. Ibar on to first. And that double play will end the inning, so nothing doing for the Rangers in the third. We go to the 4th inning. It's still 3-1 Padres. 4th inning. Padres with the lead. Hey, single game tickets are available in the Hyundai Club for tomorrow night's game when the Rangers finish this series against San Diego. Enjoy the game in climate controlled comfort with an all-you-can-eat buffet and a unique view of the field right out there. Purchase your tickets at texasrangers.com/Hyundai Club.
Nice kind of incognito back there,
right?
Huh? Nice.
What happens in the Hyundai Club stays in the Hyundai Club. That's a really cool view. Very different view of the game from out there, and we get going here in the 4th inning. Ryan Schimpf, 9 home runs this year for Schimpf, 17 RBIs. Now he struck out looking in the 2nd inning. Homered and doubled in the opener on Monday. Yesterday, Schimpf was kept quiet, collared in his 3 at-bats. You were talking earlier about Mark McGwire on the bench for the Padres as their bench coach. And when you look at some of the things that McGwire did in his career, there were some years that were just silly. I mean, where he'd hit, I think the year he hit 70 home runs, he had like 50 or 60 singles. I mean, that's just weird. And Schimpf is kind of like that. A lot more home runs or extra base hits than he has singles. 2-2 the count on Schimpf.
And he'd take it if he could hit the
absolutely.
70. If you're, as long as the home run total is where you want it to be, and put up some big numbers, and you'd be okay with that. I mean, listen, everybody wants to hit 350 with a ton of home runs and drive in 100, but as we've seen in this game now, more than this game has ever seen, there's a lot of big home runs, a lot of big swings, and a lot of strikeouts, which also leads us to some really low batting averages.
Schimpf has, since he has become a Padre, has 53 extra base hits, if my math is correct. 53 extra base hits. And he has a total of 23 singles. Kind of interesting. It's unusual.
It's an unusual ratio without a doubt. But that gets you coming into tonight that 167 batting average.
That is true. And he strikes out swinging. 1 away in the 4th inning.
Darvish knows exactly how he wants to treat Ryan Schimpf tonight. And there's the breaking ball backdoor. Keep it on the outside part of the plate and get just downward move it. Don't allow it to swing back out over the plate. Schimpf struggles with it. I mentioned the fastball command earlier and strike percentage and some of the issues that Darvish has had in the past. That fastball tonight so far, 78% for strikes. That's a big number. That's actually well above even a realistic goal. Again, he's been in the 50s for certain games, but tonight the fastball has been in the zone at a much higher rate than we've seen for most of Darvish's starts.
Well, it gets ahead of Ibar here. Ibar hit the home run in the 2nd inning, and that was the ambush job. Fouls this one off. All right, our Kubota power stats tonight. Talking about Darvish. He has had a lot of fun in interleague play. 209 earned run average.
That's not surprising at all when you think about the power stuff and the swing and miss from Darvish and going up against some of the weaker National League lineups.
Boy, Ibar serves that one out into right field, so he's 2 for 2. Base runner on for San Diego in the 4th.
Well, he was not fooled by this slow breaking ball from Darvish, and it was up in the zone a little bit higher than Darvish wanted it, and that's going to be the best chance that a hitter has to getting to that ball. I mean, it's still kind of an awkward swing. He stayed balanced, but for Eric Ibar, if that ball's down, I mean, he didn't hit it hard anyway, but if that ball's down, it's weaker contact or even a swing and a miss. But Darvish gave him a chance with that ball being left up.
Well, Ibar is on, and he is a guy you've got to consider over there at first. He has stolen 3 bases in 3 attempts. Hunter Renfroe had the single and scored a run in the second inning. Darvish, this will be his 60th pitch of the night already. It's 1-1. Twenty pitches in the first, 17 in the second. He was pretty good in the third inning, just 12 pitches needed. Darvish, though, a guy who has as good a stuff as there is in the game. And the problem a lot of times has been able to keep that pitch count in check so that he can go deep into the games. 1-2 the count.
And that's why I really like that pitch right there. 1-1 count. Run the two-seam fastball in. Try to get the ground ball. See if you can get 2 outs with 1 pitch. He did a really nice job of executing this as well. And he got what he wanted, which was to get the hitter to hit the top half of the ball and hit it in the ground. He just had him so far out in front that he hit a foul.
Keeping an eye on Ibar. Our TXU Energy power player to watch today, Hunter Renfroe. His 5 home runs. It's 3rd among all rookies in Major League Baseball. 2-2 the count. We have so many young players in this Padres lineup, and a number of them are scattered among the leaderboards for rookies.
He came up last year and absolutely crushed it in his 11 games in September and really kind of earned his spot for this year.
They're going, and the throw bounces away from Odor. Ibar in with his 4th stolen base of the year.
Eric Ibar wanted timeout immediately after he was safe on this steal. Got a good jump. We know Darvish struggles to hold runners, and watch here, see Ibar, pretty good jump here, but showing off the speed, but getting there safe. Watch this. He had no idea where the baseball was, and so he was looking for timeout right away, and he wasn't getting it from Jeff Kellogg because the ball was still loose out in center field. And he kind of gave a little bit of a fake, like then he was going to go. But watch Eric Ibar. He does not know where the baseball is, so he wants time, but Jeff Kellogg's not going to give it to him while the ball was loose in the outfield.
Payoff pitch. This one lifted into shallow center. Coming on Gomez, and he gets there in time. 2 away.
Just real quick to finish that thought on Hunter Renfroe. When he came up last year, it was only 11 games and 36 plate appearances, but he crushed it. Hit 4 home runs, hit 371, and that was the time for him to really kind of get his foot in the door, take advantage of September at bats, finding himself now on the opening day roster with the Padres.
So here's Matt Caesar. Caesar went out. He just kind of slapped the ball out to the power alley in right field last time. Bounces one deep in the hole. It's short, long throw, and that one pulls Napoli off the bag. So Caesar is on with an infield hit, and they have men on the corners.
This was going to take a great play by Elvis Andrus to get Caesar, who runs pretty well, and he did everything he could to get to this ball, but to try to make a perfect throw on the run was going to take a tremendous play. I'm sure a little frustration here for Darvish as he made his pitch and induced weak contact, but you see the throw. Elvis gets there, but he knew that he was going to have to throw it on the run. It's up the line just enough to pull Mike Napoli off the back.
Interesting little note. That's the first hit that anyone has had this year with a runner in scoring position against Darvish. It doesn't get home a run. It's the first time somebody has at least hit safely against him.
And really not much of a hit either, right? Located his pitch, got weak contact, just a well-placed infield single.
This will allow Caesar to scramble out to second base. Wild pitch.
You're going to see this an overthrow here because Jonathan Lucroy wanted that ball in and ends up finishing in the dirt away. Boy, does he make that look easy. It is not, especially when you have the live arm that Darvish has. You don't know which way that ball is necessarily always going to bounce. It's not a clean bounce like you're taking it off the grass or off turf. You're taking it off dirt that's uneven.
2 balls and no strikes to the 9th place hitter for the Padres, Luis Torrens, who grounded out in the 2nd, and Lucroy, Doug Brocail, Rangers pitching coach, out there to have a little word.
He doesn't like the overthrows that he has seen so far here from Yu Darvish at times. It's one thing, listen, every pitcher misses spots, and every pitcher at times will miss a spot pretty badly, but I think what he is seeing from Yu Darvish when he starts yanking those balls and can't get them into the righty is too much of an overthrow, and one that he thinks he can get a correction on, which is kind of letting him know what he sees.
Well, you see those numbers with runners in scoring position for Darvish. He's been so good in these spots. The 2-0. And that's strike 1. Torrens has just 1 hit this year in 16 at bats. Well, he's another Rule 5 draftee. He was a 2nd overall pick in the Rule 5 draft this year. There are a lot of Rule 5 draftees all over this game. Padres have most of them, but Delano to Shields in left field. He is one. Breaking ball and hit on the ground to second base. Odor right there to gather it up. So that'll do it for the Padres in the 4th. They leave 2 in scoring position. Heart of the order coming for the Rangers. Mazara, Gomez, and Rougned Odor when we come back.
The 4th. Well, Padres pitcher Luis Perdomo has never faced the Rangers, but that doesn't mean he doesn't know any of them. In fact, Nomar Mazara told me before the game that they are, quote, buddies. They are both from the Dominican Republic, and he said when he's home, they practice together close to his house. So they've known each other for the last few years. Nomar was hoping, even though he struck out in his last at-bat, that familiarity would help him a little bit here tonight, guys.
Thanks, Leslie.
Oh, it absolutely does. Familiarity is huge. Knowing a guy, seeing his stuff, whether it's previous at bats or you know a guy well, you work out with him in the offseason, all different kinds of ways that guys from different teams will interact with each other.
Well, Mazara struck out back in the 1st inning and now takes ball 1 from Perdomo. It's a 2-run game. And very quickly he's jumped ahead here, 2 balls and no strikes. So good start of this at bat for Nomar. And he hits this ball hard out to right center field. That one's going to get all the way to the fence. No, it's not. It's going to be cut off out there and centered by Margot. But Mazara with a leadoff double in the 4th inning anyway.
We mentioned getting in that really good position with the 2-0 count, laying off some pitches that he chased in his first at bat. And what does he do? He earns himself a pitch that is up in the zone. Two-seam fastball that he wanted down, that he left up. Nomar puts a good swing in it. I'm with you. You looked off the bat. You knew this was going to get down in the gap. It looked like for sure it would roll all the way, but it kind of had a little bit of a soft landing, but didn't really matter. I mean, if that goes to the wall, maybe a triple possibly, and certainly Nomar was thinking it as he came around second base pretty aggressively, but he'll certainly take the leadoff double.
All right, that'll bring up Gomez. Now this is the second time through the order for Perdomo. And there weren't really any Rangers with much familiarity in his game. Jonathan Lucroy had seen him once, but that was the extent. So now as they go through a second time and have had a chance to stand in against him, we'll see if the Rangers are able to make some adjustments. Gomez struck out his first time up, drops a beautiful bunt out in front of the plate. Torrens throws to first, but they're going to say it was fouled. Plate umpire James Hoy signaled immediately. Will Little at first was more emphatic about it, and here comes Andy Green to argue.
Well, there's nothing you can do about it now because it was called foul while the play was happening, and so you can't go back and necessarily change anything or call it out. Carlos Gomez started to pull up a little bit, but let's take a look at the replay, and it's a breaking ball that's down, and what they said was that it hit his leg, and it absolutely did, as you see that baseball bounce up and hit Carlos Gomez's back leg. But Carlos kept going. I don't know if he didn't feel it, but he kind of sold everybody, and he certainly sold Andy Green on that ball not hitting him, but it clearly did.
All right, Green going to continue the conversation. He's worked on James Hoy a little bit, and now Jeff Kellogg comes in from second base. They'll continue the conversation.
Now, a batted ball hitting a runner is something that you cannot review, but I don't know if a batted ball, I mean, it doesn't matter in that situation anyway, because they call time in the middle of the play. There's no way. I don't think that one is reviewable.
No, I don't think so either, and I think that was part of the conversation that Green was having. Not happy with the call, but it doesn't matter. It's a strike on Gomez. No balls, 2 strikes to Carlos. Zara back at second base. And that was foul tipped right into Torrens' mitt. So a strikeout. Hey, Rangers fans, download the Fox Sports Go app and take Rangers baseball with you wherever you go. If you can't catch the games on TV, you can still stream them live on your mobile device with the Fox Sports Go app presented by Hyundai. So Gomez with a strikeout. And now Odor. Rangers are 0 for 5 with runners in scoring position so far tonight. Odor had the double to start the second. Rangers do have 5 hits in this thing already today. They need one with a man out there at second or third base. Going to run home as it's 0-2 now on Rugi.
And these are the at-bats that the Rangers and Jeff Bannister, when he put that lineup together tonight, these are the ones that he's expecting to be able to catch him because of Perdomo's struggles against left-handed hitters, and Nomar Mazara gets the big double, and Rougned Odor had the double back in the second inning, and trying to get those together at the same time where these guys can drive each other in. Shin-Chu, of course, has a couple of hits from the left side, and so Jeff Bannister really banking on those lefties getting it done here tonight against Perdomo.
Perdomo somewhat deliberate, and he strikes out Odor. Gets away from Torrens, but he will throw out Odor anyway. 2 away.
We saw this in the first at bat that ended up ultimately in Elvis Andrus getting picked off, and that at bat got wiped away. But we see it again where Perdomo has gone back to the breaking ball below the zone against Rougned Odor, and it's such a good one. It's so tough to lay off of that pitch. You got a runner in scoring position. The hitter is going to be aggressive, and Perdomo does a nice job of taking advantage of that.
So 2 big strikeouts after the leadoff double. It's going to be up to Jonathan Lucroy, who walked in the second inning. And he bounces one on 2 hops to shortstop. Ibars throw in time. And so the Rangers leave another man in scoring position. We go to the 5th inning. It's 3-1 San Diego. Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. And by North Texas Ford. The Great American Sales Event is happening now at your local Texas Ford dealer. Ford is the best in Texas. For the books so far tonight, 11 combined hits, but the Padres working with the 3-1 lead, and they will send the top of the order in this 5th inning against Yu Darvish. Great to be with you tonight. Great to be back home. Rangers finally back home after a long trip. We saw them play 4 in Houston, 3 in Seattle, and then 2 in San Diego. Now just these 2 quick games here against the Padres. Oakland will be coming in this weekend, and the pitch is a high strike to Manuel Margot. Margot, talk about some of the rookie leaders in the National League. He had 37 hits coming into play tonight, and that's 11 more hits than any other rookie in the National League. Oh for 2 so far tonight, though, against Darvish. Popped up and grounded out. Takes the ball, 1-2 the count.
And that's not the first time that Yu Darvish has been disappointed in a call on a fastball. I think he has a good argument on that one. And we have this conversation a lot. Umpires, when a catcher misses or catcher set up and a pitcher misses his spot, even if the ball crosses the plate, it's sometimes difficult to get that call, but it won't look like a strike. Fox Tracks had it as a strike as well.
A little tapper back to Darvish. Allows him to take care of Margot anyway. And there's 1 out. And that'll bring up Corey Spangenberg.
Third baseman Corey Spangenberg.
Talked a little bit about Spangenberg earlier, and we've of course mentioned Ryan Schimpf. You saw Margot, some of these young players who have really contributed for San Diego. It's Spangenberg who has been hurt so much the last couple of years. He's missed a ton of time the last couple of years. It really opened up the opportunities for Schimpf to get playing time and kind of emerge. And he shows bunt. Wow.
Showed it early too, didn't he?
That's a weird, but it's the second time he's done this, and that's not a real conventional bunting stance. I'm not real sure I understand what's going on there.
Well, he gets it out there early, but it's just really flat as opposed to where you get guys that'll hold it back and hold it higher. He actually started the bat kind of waist high already and went from there. I mean, I guess if you're trying to drag, it's One way to do it, but yes, it looked very awkward.
Takes one a little low. 1-1. Spangenberg tonight has struck out in his first 2 times in. And he's in a hole here, 1-2. Darvish already with 5 strikeouts so far. That matches the total of Darvish's last outing when he went 7 innings on Friday in Seattle. Only struck out 5 Mariners. And he strikes out Spangenberg for the 3rd time tonight.
Man, when that curveball is on and well located, he really makes opposing hitters look bad. And Spangenberger just had no chance on this. Ball down. Spangenberg, excuse me. I want it to be Spangenberger so bad. I've always wanted it to be Spangenberger.
It'd be a lot more fun.
Yeah. That's Spangenberger. My apologies.
A lot of marketing opportunities you could see following with that as well. Here's Will Myers. Myers with a home run and the flyout so far tonight. And talk about the young players on this Padres team and their ongoing development. This is the guy they're sort of building around now. Myers, a former Rookie of the Year in the American League, and that breaking ball had him bailing.
Oh, this is definitely their guy. And for the Padres, you know, last few years they've really had a hard time having kind of their identifiable player, right? They went out a few years ago, they gave Jerko a contract. He was kind of the guy, and that one was premature, didn't really work out, and they ended up moving on from him and sent him to St. Louis. So Will Myers had this good strong year last year, and so they give him a 6-year deal for $83 million. And obviously when you do those deals, part of that is the idea of saving yourself some money down the road. But the other part of that is that you have a guy there that your fan base can say, yeah, that's our guy, right? That's our highest paid kind of go-to guy that we can count on, that we feel is going to be here. You can put his jersey in your store and fans can buy it knowing they believe he's going to be there. Will Myers is kind of that one guy right now for the Padres.
3 balls and a strike now as he works himself well ahead in this at bat against Darvish. Darvish now over 80 pitches for the night. So he works here with the 5th.
You see Will Myers there, right? The no batting gloves. We know that about him. We kind of say kind of old school, kind of tough. But when you have the lizard skin on there, it takes away from it a little bit. For me.
Full count now.
Right.
I see. So if you're gonna, your point is, if you're gonna go bare hand and be a tough guy, then you got to go straight wood there. No wrap.
Because the lizard skin, of course, will take a little bit of that sting away. It's still impressive that he goes no batting gloves, but I want to see the bare hand right on the wood.
Payoff pitch. And a bouncer down 3rd. Long throw for Gallo. And he pulls Napoli off the bag, but he got the tag on him, and that will end the inning. Nicely done by Napoli to complete the 1-2-3. We'll go to the bottom of the 5th, halfway there tonight. It's 3-1 Padres. We need to get something going offensively here against Perdomo. Perdomo has given them some opportunities the last few innings. The Rangers have yet to come up with that big hit. Last inning was a leadoff double by Mazzara, but he was left right there. Napoli, his first time up, rolled into the double play. 0 for 1 tonight. Batting 7th in the order.
That was one of just 3 ground outs today so far by the Texas Rangers, which in itself is kind of a small victory. When you look at Perdomo and what he has done so far this year, and this is only his 5th start, but nearly a 70% ground ball rate, which would put him right near the top of all starting pitchers. And then you think about the fact, okay, you have the high ground ball rate, you don't let up very many home runs, which he hasn't done either, which is not necessarily a great combination when you look at the Rangers lineup and how they rely so heavily on the long ball.
Oh, full count now. Of course, there's only been 1 out in the air. That was the DeShields fly ball in the 3rd inning. He's got a couple of double plays that have helped him quite a bit when you talk about ground balls, and a handful of strikeouts, and then of course had the pickoff of Elvis Andrus, but he walks Napoli to start the 5th. All right, before we see Joey Gallo, let's take a Chevy game break. Send it back to the studios with Dana Larson. And the Rockies just keep winning. And I know they were, kind of a fun favorite in the offseason, and going into spring training, people were talking about how Colorado would, maybe this is the year. Their young pitching was real good last year, and they did some things to shore up their lineup. But my goodness, here they sit now at 22-13 and atop the National League West.
Well, the lineup as good as it was supposed to be. They had some issues in the beginning, right? No Ian Desmond, David Dahl, a big part of their offense last year. Young hitter, and a guy looks like that could be a part of their future, was injured as well. But guys like Mark Reynolds stepped up, a guy that looked like he didn't even have a spot on the team. And where they were going to fit him in the lineup, signing a minor league deal has been huge for the Colorado Rockies. But yes, they are scoring a lot of runs right now, and the pitching has been good. They're a team you look at and say, can they hang in there? Is there enough to do it over the long term? We will see.
Well, the Rockies, a team that these San Diego Padres are chasing. Padres came in 8 back in the division. The 2-1 to Gallo, and it's buried for ball 3. Perdomo's had some success tonight getting these Rangers hitters to chase balls out of the zone. That's not exactly a real new concept for a lot of opposing pitchers. But that has certainly helped Perdomo. We'll see if Gallo can stay disciplined here at 3-1. He should get something good to hit, and he couldn't hold off.
That's a breaking ball. That's a really good one in a 3-1 count. And that just goes to show you the respect that Perdomo has for Joey Gallo's ability to hit the fastball. Man, look at that ball. I mean, it's probably a ball down, but it's well located. And certainly Joey Gallo's getting big right there and thinking 3-1 fastball, and he didn't get it.
Big payoff pitch coming, and that's ball 4. So he walks Gallo after putting Napoli on for free, and the Rangers have the first 2 men on in the 5th.
Now batting left fielder, Delino DeShields.
Hey fans, the next postgame fireworks show is this Friday. Make sure you head out to the ballpark as your Rangers face the Oakland A's and stay after the game for a fireworks show set to the music by the Beatles. Get your tickets at TexasRangers.com or by calling 972-RANGERS. Which leads me to a big confession.
Uh-oh.
I've never liked the Beatles.
Why? What's your beef with the Beatles?
I don't have a beef. That's strong. I just have never been a fan of their music. I just felt like I wanted to get that out there after reading. I almost feel like apologetic about it. I feel bad about it.
Yeah.
And when I read that, I'm like, oh, that's going to be cool for people that like the Beatles. I'm not a Beatle guy. I love fireworks. So I'll bear through the Beatles to watch the fireworks, but
well, they don't bother you.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I feel like I'm one of the few people on the face of the earth that don't like the Beatles.
So you don't like appreciate their music, or do you just not?
I appreciate the success. I just don't like it.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
But I do feel bad about it.
Well, I'm glad you were able to get it off your chest.
I feel better.
This is a no judgment zone. I mean, you're okay. The Shields bunting one, and taken by the catcher Torrens, able to get Delino at first. Nice job of the second baseman Solarte covering, but both runners advance into scoring position now. So DeShields does his job in sacrificing the runners up.
I like this play here. You and I have talked about this a bunch in the situation where the Rangers are struggling against Perdomo. I know we just walked 2 batters. Oh, they actually call that foul too. It's another bunt off the leg. Guys are butting balls off their legs like crazy. And he's in the box. And that was the other thing that we didn't cover. Andy Green could have been arguing, the manager of the Padres, when Carlos Gomez was out there, whether or not he was actually out of the box. He may not have been arguing whether or not the ball hit him, but if you're out of the batter's box when that ball hits you, then of course you are out.
Yeah, it was similar to this one, though. It came right down on him. Delano offering or showing bunt, but pulled back. 1-1 the count.
The point being for me, going back to it real quick, I don't mind the sacrifice here. I know Perdomo has just walked 2 hitters, and you start to think, okay, well, do you have him against the ropes? Do you really want to give him an out? There's a part of that that I think is a legitimate argument. As a pitcher, I'll take an out any way I can get it right now. If you want to give me one via sacrifice bunt, I'll take it. But at the same time, the Rangers have struggled to put some hits together against him as well. So pushing 2 guys in a scoring position, I'm okay with giving up an out to do it as well.
Well, you're just adding some pressure, and you have Chu waiting on deck, who is 2 for 2 tonight and has looked pretty good in his at-bats against Perdomo. Now, it may be that they decide with first base empty that they'll walk him and deal with Elvis Andrus, but I think Jeff Bannister would take that too, right? So, yeah, absolutely, put him on, and I'll definitely take my chances with Andrus.
I think Will Myers is anticipating a bunt here. He's almost in your picture.
Yeah. 2-1, and there is the bunt, and it's a good one, but it goes foul, and so now Delano's going to have to swing.
I mean, Will Myers was completely sold out for the bunt. It's amazing, really. You think about, could Delano just pull back? I know people think that, and it's not a terrible thought either, but you see where Will Myers is, and he actually comes, charging in so hard, like he is anticipating getting any bunt that goes to third, that you probably could sneak that ball past him on the first base side, because that first step is going to be so hard, and if Delano's able to push that actually past him, it could turn into a hit.
Now, I said he'll be swinging now with 2 strikes. That is not necessarily the case.
Well, look at Will Myers is still up.
I'm a little surprised by that.
Yes.
That he's still sold out that far on 2 strikes, because the odds say that Delano would be swinging here. We'll find out. He is swinging and bounces it to shortstop. They'll get the 1 out there, but that is it. With Delano's speed, you're not going to double him up on that ground ball.
No, you're not. And also Will Myers is working pretty hard to get back to first base. So the combination of all those things tells you there is no play. And so now with Delano at first, I got to believe there's a good chance to be trying to steal. You may ultimately get the result you wanted, which was 2nd and 3rd and 1 out anyway. But the counter to that is when you have Chu up, do you want Will Myers to be holding that runner on first so you can have that big hole on the right side of the infield? Lots of different ways the Rangers could go here as you see them tied for the league lead with their 25 steals.
DeShields with 6 stolen bases, tied for 5th in the league. Not going. And that's strike 1 on Chu. Napoli's 3rd. Delano with a small lead over at first base, and he's not going again. And a bouncer this time up the middle, and that one through. A base hit. DeShields off toward third base. Chu is in, and it's a 1-run game. Pardon me, Napoli in on the Chu base hit.
Well, it certainly is fun to watch Delino DeShields run the bases, and he was going to get to third easy on this, and he came around third aggressively, but Chin-Chu Chu does it again. This was supposed to be a fastball away. It finishes out over the plate and down. Another ground ball base hit, third base hit today. Chin-Chu Chu comes up big.
First hit with runner in scoring position tonight for the Rangers. Now 1 for 9 in those situations. I said that Perdomo had given them some opportunities. That's a lot of them. And here's another one with DeShields just 90 feet away.
Keep an eye on Chin-Chu Chu here, by the way. The numbers for Perdomo coming into tonight: base runners 12 for 13 over his short career going back to last year and this year. So they've had some success.
Well, Andrews up there. Chu has been running a little bit more frequently lately. 2 steals in 4 attempts this year. This one fouled off.
See that swing by Elvis Andrews. Fooled there. You know, one thing, and take a look at the pitch count, which has been pretty good for the most part, but the Rangers now starting to put some pressure here on Perdomo. He has yet to allow an extra base hit to a right-handed hitter this year. It still hasn't happened. It'd be a great opportunity right now. This would be as good a time as any for a righty to put one in the gap against Perdomo.
Well, Andrews got him for a hit back in the first inning. He's also rolled into a double play. Perdomo at 75 pitches for the night, 20 pitches in the inning. And a bunt in the air foul.
And that's a situation where you treat it as a safety squeeze for Delino DeShields at third, but for Elvis Andrews really bunting for a hit. And if Delino reads it right, he'll probably be able to walk home with the great speed that he has. But that's, I don't think that's a setup safety squeeze or anything like that. It could turn into that, but for me, that's Elvis bunting for a base hit on his own.
Waits on a 1-2. Chu bluffs. The pitch is in, and it is 2-2.
By the way, you notice that huge Yu Darvish head behind home plate right there?
Yeah.
Is that always
that?
No. Has that ever been there before? I mean, that thing. I haven't seen it right there. Yu Darvish head.
Yeah,
I'm thinking he can't hold it up, right? You're really going to tick some people off behind you.
Block the occasional view. Yeah. Maybe kind of a between innings thing for you.
I haven't seen it up in the air yet, but that's some work to put that together. Cut out perfectly. It's got to have some kind of backing, obviously, that's pretty firm. I'd like to see that guy get his opportunity to use it in the way that he'd like to.
2-2. And it's a full count on Andrews. Well, Perdomo has worked around a couple of tough spots so far tonight. But you wonder if you're Andy Green watching how confident you are that he can go a heck of a lot deeper here. A couple of walks this inning, a run already in, men on the corners in a 1-run game. And it's 3-2. We'll have another one.
The pitch counts have not been very high for Perdomo, who dealt with some right shoulder inflammation earlier in the year after his first start. He went on the DL for a little while. Wasn't on very long, but 90 is the highest so far this season. 2 starts ago, just 69 pitches, but he did get through 6 innings at 69.
Chu was running last time. See if he takes it. He does. He's running. And Andrews fights off another. Jose Torres, left-hander, getting ready in a hurry out there for San Diego. Definitely the most trying inning tonight for Perdomo. 2 runs, and there's a swing and a miss. Andrews strikes out, 2 away in the inning.
Right fielder, no more.
Stolen base for Chu, his 3rd of the year. But another K.
You see Elvis struggling with the off-speed pitch that's down. Really good movement. 6 strikeouts now for Perdomo, and he's not a huge strikeout guy. 8 is his career high. That happened last year in June, but because of the stuff, because he uses that 2-seam fastball so much, he is more of a ground ball kind of contact pitcher. But he does have 6 punch outs here tonight against the Rangers.
Well, Mazzara put on intentionally. Automatic, no pitches, intentional walk, so he goes to first. They're loaded up for Carlos Gomez.
I think fans are used to that yet, right? Because that's obviously the great booing moment that it could have, and I believe there's some people looking around saying, "Oh, what happened? Why does he just get to go to first?" I think there's a little bit of an adjustment period for everybody with the new rule.
No, I think it's still jarring. Yeah, catches a lot of people off guard. Gomez 0 for 2. He has struck out twice tonight, and Perdomo gets the first one in there. How about this? Rangers with a big opportunity here. The only Ranger who is yet to reach base via hit or walk so far in tonight's game is Carlos Gomez. Perdomo looking to third, and he balked.
Oh my.
Wow. And there's a tying run.
Well, earlier where there was a complaint from Jeff Bannister where they thought maybe Perdomo had balked. He did not. Let's see what we can see on this one here. I told you, I strongly dislike pitchers going from the windup just because there's a runner on third, because something like that is always a possibility.
One and two to Gomez.
Think about that. As a pitcher, whether you're a reliever or a starter, more often than not, you're making your biggest pitches out of the stretch, right? You got to be comfortable pitching in the stretch. And I know some guys do it, but for me, a close game, any game, doesn't have to be a close game or not, but I will see a huge situation where you balk home the tying run because you're throwing from the windup instead of the stretch with the runner on third.
Gomez strikes out swinging. That one will end the inning, but the Rangers get 2 runs and they have tied this game. We're through 5, even at 3.
here I am with the progressive fan of the game, Adam File, and Raul and his grandson, Riley. And Adam is the president of the Texas chapter of Gift of Adoption. Tell us what exactly that is.
The Gift of Adoption here in Texas, we provide grants to financially needy families that are finishing their adoptions here in Texas. So the money we raise will go to Texas families finishing an adoption.
So they have about 80 people here tonight. Proceeds of some of the tickets will go to Gift of Adoption because they partner with the Rangers. But I'm gonna give this little progressive bag to you, Riley. How about it? Because honestly, when you hugged me earlier, that made you our fan of the game too. Thanks, Raul. Thanks, Adam. We appreciate it. Guys.
Nicely done. Nicely done. Here we go. 6th inning now, 3-3 ball game. And Darvish bends one in there for a strike to Solarte. Solarte's 0 for 2.
There's been a pattern we've seen, I think, with you, Darvish, right, where the game kind of goes one way or other. We see him struggling a little bit at times tonight. We've also seen him this year where he gets a little bit comfortable late after, maybe being off here just a little bit and start to go on a roll. And I got to believe right now Jeff Bannister is kind of hoping that's the case at 85 pitches. He's easily got another 30-35 in him if they want. If you can throw well, you can see where Yu Darvish potentially could get through 7.
Well, he had a quick 3rd, fairly quick 5th. And he's got the 4, 5, and 6 hitters here in this 6th inning. This one popped up, playable down that left field line. The Shields is there, 1 away. All right, this was Solarte's last at bat in the 3rd inning, and it is also our AT&T something to smile about. As watch this down the line here. Yeah. She's not done.
She's pretty excited about getting a foul ball here at Globe Life Park, and I get it. It's an exciting moment. Look at that. She doesn't even, I mean, the best part, of course, the baseball's nice, but she's eventually going to find out that she was on TV, which is even the better part of a night like that. Big smiles all the way around.
That was awesome. Now here is Schimpf, and he swings right over the breaking ball for strike 1.
Yeah, and you mentioned Yu Darvish kind of getting settled in, how he has looked lately, right? It was the home run in the 1st inning to Will Myers, and then some trouble in the 2nd inning with 3 consecutive hits, the home run, single, and double. But after that, for the most part, he has settled in pretty well and looks really sharp so far here in the 6th.
Schimpf hits this one in the air into shallow right, and it just drops a little hand grenade in there for a base hit.
We got a knockdown wedge. What was that?
Shortstop Harry Ibar.
A rare single we were talking about earlier here from Brian Schimpf, and he'll take it. He did not hit this ball hard at all. He got jammed. It looked like a little cutter came back in, but he got enough of it at least to get it to the outfield.
He seems confused. First base, when I step on it, I take a lead. I'm not real sure what's going on here. Eric Ibar. And he takes one just off the plate. That's the guy who's been the real trouble spot today. Had the home run in the 2nd inning and then the single in the 4th. One and one on Ibar. Jeremy Jeffress getting ready out there in case he's needed.
The Rangers have to be pretty happy. I mean, the complete game, obviously, the ripple effect from A.J. Griffin and what that does to your bullpen. Everybody fully rested, only a couple of guys through the game before that. And so the bullpen should be on all cylinders going forward tonight.
Banny pointed out earlier today, he said, looked down at his card. He says, this is the first time I can remember in a long time where everything's green, meaning all these guys are available, ready to go. Because on Monday, Claudio went an inning. Kenny Kella threw an inning. Nobody tossed yesterday. 1-1 pitch. That one gets away from Lucroy. Schimpf goes to second base. That looked like a cross-up of sorts.
Most likely a cross-up, or if for Jonathan Lucroy forgetting sometimes what he was putting down, what he was expecting, or if the ball cut, or went in a different direction. Sometimes you think, okay, throw a cutter and the ball backs up and goes the other way, but you see that reaction from Yu Darvish. Now, the only reason I would say that it might not have been a cross-up is that Jonathan Lucroy did not go out and talk to Yu Darvish. As much as we talk about those meetings on the mound, that almost always happens after a cross-up, just to double check with the guy and make sure that everybody's on the same page.
Now a big 2-1 pitch, and that one bends in to catch a corner.
Let's see this again here. A breaking ball. I mean, that's a strike. I don't know if he was saying to himself, I'm not sure if that was a strike or not. It definitely was.
A 2-2. Darvish so far tonight with 5 strikeouts, and we talk about it all the time, how it is, 6 strikeouts. So that has, always been his calling card. It does cause for higher pitch counts at times and shorter outings for him. But if there's a time where maybe he needed to strike out tonight, this is it. Good to get Ibar here, keep Schimpf at second base for Renfroe. Keep Renfroe a little closer. The bottom of the order, starting here with Ibar, that's where the trouble has been tonight for Darvish. Ibar, we mentioned, is 2 for 2. Renfroe has a single and 2 tries waiting on deck. Matt Caesar after that, 2 for 2. There's Caesar. Tapper, first base side. Napoli will take care of business. 2 away. Schimpf 90 feet away now for Renfroe. With 2 out here.
This becomes one of those moments. It's the 6th inning. Potential go-ahead run on third base, and a guy that already has a base hit against Yu Darvish, but was able to retire him on the fly ball to center field in his last at bat. Sometimes the biggest moments come a little bit earlier, so this would be a good one here for Yu Darvish. Finds a way to finish off this inning. And one thing that's sticking out, you mentioned the 6 strikeouts. He hasn't walked a hitter in this game as Doug Brocail now jogs out to talk to Yu Darvish. He has not had a start this year where he hasn't walked a hitter. He had a couple of good ones where he only walked 1. There was 2 other starts where he only walked 2. Everything else has been 3 and higher. So it's certainly good to see him 95 pitches into this start and having not walked a hitter yet.
Hey, this is interesting. You saw Brocail running out there. Now, oftentimes it's on the pitching coach, but watch Darvish here just a moment ago.
Yep, calling him out, and it could be, you know what, I just want to confirm something real quick. I want to talk about what we're going to do here and maybe go over, because I said it's a big moment in the game. It's only the 6th inning, obviously, but it's 3-3. This could be the moment. And so if you want to confirm either a scouting report, or if Yu Darvish is saying, you know what, wouldn't mind being careful with him right here. And I don't think he'd necessarily want to go after Caesar, who's had some good swings against him, but that could be part of the conversation as well, or just wanting to confirm something along the scouting report and how they want to approach Hunter Renfroe.
First pitch, and it's a comebacker. And Darvish gets out of the jam in the 6th inning. It's still tied at 3. Brought to you by Sonic Drive-In. Tonight's jackpot worth $1,500 plus dinner for two at Sonic Drive-In. Tonight the Rangers are hitting for Kevin Thornton from Fort Worth. So if they get a home run this inning, $1,500 for Kevin. If they hit a grand slam, Kevin wins $25,000. All right, bottom of the sixth, Rougned Odor. And he taps one foul. Odor, Lucroy, Napoli. Luis Perdomo out again in this sixth inning. He labored a bit in the fifth, worked around 3 walks. But he got a couple of big strikeouts, and Mr. Hand warming up in the pen for San Diego.
One of the greatest movies of all time. Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
I mean, if I'm here and you're here,
and Luis Perdomo is here, isn't it our time?
I think it is.
Now, you mentioned third time around the order, and we're in the middle of that right now with Luis Perdomo. Kind of interesting, his numbers over the course of his career. First time through the lineup, .312 batting average, which is pretty high for a guy that has the stuff that he has. Third time through the lineup, that same .312 batting average.
Oh, what a play by Solarte to flag that one and gun down Odor, one away.
Tough break for Rougned Odor, who was all over this pitch and hit it hard. This is a nice play by Solarte as he goes to his left. Pops right up, makes a great throw. It's all reaction at that point.
Lucroy's 0 for 1. He walked in the second inning. Grounded out in the fourth. Jonathan batting 6th in the order tonight. These two teams play again tomorrow night, and that will wrap up our look at the Padres this year. (2-0) on Lucroy. I asked Tom this question yesterday about interleague play. We've had it now for these many years, and curious where you stand on it. Does it run the course with you, or you like it?
It's run its course for me. I feel pretty strongly about it. I look at when interleague first started, it was great, and you get to certain matchups that a lot of people in certain markets want to see. Cubs, White Sox, Yankees, Mets. I get it. But for me, I'm kind of over it, and I get why we do it in baseball, but I think fans have kind of gotten used to it to some degree because you get certain matchups that just don't do a lot for you. But I'm a bigger proponent of the balanced schedule, right? Where right now the Rangers go and play 19 games against every team in their division, right? 18 to 19 games against every team in your division, and you only go to every other city once, right? They come to you once. Well, we have 2 wild cards now, so I would love to see a balanced schedule where you're playing everybody in your league a bunch.
Slow roller, and that's a tough play off the second base bag. Lucroy is on with an infield hit.
Well, Jonathan Lucroy will take that any way he can get it. You see the smile there from Eric Ibar, because as this play developed, I think both middle infielders are wondering, is this baseball going to hit second base, and is it going to bounce up and hit me in the face? And even though it wasn't hit very hard, as Jonathan Lucroy smirking there a little bit himself as he just kind of reaches out. But watch this. You're thinking, is it going to hit the bag? And it did. It bounced up there a little bit. And there's really nothing Eric Ibar could do. Even though he caught that ball, it's like, man, I'm just, you know what? Just happy it didn't hit anybody in the face. But anyway, real quick for me, I like to see play everybody in your division evenly. Not 19 times in your division and then only playing 6 or 7 out of your division against each opponent, but also then would go along with that is cutting down interleague play to about 6 games.
Oh, so still keep a little interleague.
Just a little, but not very much. Because listen, with 2 wild cards, it matters. Last year when the season started, there were 7 teams in the National League that were not going to compete, and you could even argue that there might have been an 8th. That's before the season even started. And so, teams now, when they rebuild, they go all the way in. And so we get some lopsided divisions because of that. And I think the heavy divisional play and interleague play plays too much into overall record when it comes to the wild card.
Roller to short. They'll flip to second one. And the relay in time. Double play And so Lucroy's single erased quickly, and the 6th inning is done. We go to the 7th, still tied up. All is brought to you by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. And by AT&T Internet. Visit AT&T.com/keepcalm to learn more. 3-3 ball game. As we go to the 7th inning, Jeremy Jeffress on to pitch for the Rangers. So Darvish done, Jeffress on for his 18th appearance of the year.
Yeah, Jeremy Jeffress has been well rested. He's pitched just once in the last 5 days. That's when he threw against the Seattle Mariners back on, what was that, May 6th. You see the numbers there for the year. Right-hander with a really strong two-seam fastball, good ground ball rate, very good against right-handed hitters when he's running that two-seam fastball in, and he will get three right-handed hitters here to start the 7th inning.
Starting with Matt Caesar. Time now for AARP's Getting to Know Matt Caesar, and he is new to the Padres. You see, he was a bone marrow donor. This is while he was in college, and saved the life of a 15-month little girl in the Ukraine who was battling leukemia. Caesar was a football player and baseball player at Villanova. Great at both, quite honestly, and that was in his senior year. He had already been drafted, was continuing to play football, and lines this one over short and into left field. He has a base hit. He's 3 for 3 tonight.
Well, it's been a very good night for Matt Caesar. We talked about the opportunity now for some playing time. Excuse me, some playing time here with the San Diego Padres. Times he was just not going to get, and at bats he was not going to get with the Chicago Cubs, and so far taking advantage early on.
So he's on to start the 7th. Really, it's pretty cool. He had a very good friend in high school who had battled leukemia, and so Caesar had signed up with the National Marrow Donor Program when he was at Villanova, and hoping that he could help his buddy out. And it turns out he had a rare match with this young girl in the Ukraine and saved her life. Now it was thought that he was going to have to actually miss some time in the football playoffs for Villanova, but in fact it worked out well. He was available for the championship game. He had 270 all-purpose yards in the championship game, and they won the title.
That's incredible.
Yeah, he was potentially even a future NFL player. It's decided to go the baseball route, and it's worked out for him. So a 3-3 game. He is aboard. Torrens 0 for 2 so far tonight. A couple of ground balls. That's just the one hit so far this year. time call. Jeffress, who's become so deliberate. And we see this a lot. He gets up there, he's ready, or appears to be ready. Everybody's ready. But they all can't stay ready forever.
Well,
and so they finally, somebody flinches.
Well, just like when you pitch quick, it'll disrupt a hitter's timing. Pitching slow and taking some time in between can be tough.
Bouncer third, but wide of the bag, foul. 2 strikes on Torrens.
Jeffress has already induced 4 double plays this year via the ground ball. It's what he does so well because of that good sinker. You see it there as he's working it down and in to Torrens, and this is a perfect candidate for him right now to try to roll that double play up. Even though you see him in the 0-2 count, the strikeout is not a big part of his game, even though he's got the good velocity. I think if you watch him from the outside or just read about him on paper, you would think, okay, yeah, this guy's, you know, mid to upper 90s with really good movement and probably has a ton of strikeouts, but that's not what he does. Under 8 per 9 for his career, and since he's been a Ranger, it's been even lower than that. 4.7 last year and 4.6 strikeouts per 9 this year.
Runner bluffs, and this one hit in the hole and into left field. Second hit of the year for Torrens. Padres have a couple of base runners in this 7th inning against Jeffress.
Well, this is a curveball and an 0-2 count. If you're going to throw this pitch, you want it down in the dirt, but it ends up sitting out over the plate a little bit, enough for Torrens as you watch him pull his hands and his elbow in to get the barrel on the bat. So not exactly where Jeremy Jeffress wanted to locate that pitch. 0-2 breaking ball. You're thinking bury, go out of the zone, down and away. You should try to get a swing and a miss, or at least set up that sinker for the next pitch.
Two and aboard now, and you saw Lucroy out there in front of home plate trying to communicate to the infield. Corners will be in a little bit. And here we go again, so more time.
Jonathan Lucroy giving those signs for bunt coverage. Also, if there's a steal, making sure they know exactly where they want to throw, but got a lot of different options here. And because it's late in the game and it's a tie game, the Rangers most likely would want to be aggressive in trying to get the runner out at third, even though Caesar does run pretty well.
The bunt goes back to the mound, and Jeffress will go to third, and they get the force out.
Well, that's a great play by Jeremy Jeffress and a great call by Jonathan Lucroy. We could hear him all the way up here yelling 3, right? When Jeffress, the pitcher, is fielding this ball, he has no idea what's going on. You're not exactly sure the timing of the runner, but Matt Caesar, you see him stumble there a little bit, and it's a spin and throw a perfect strike to Joey Gallo. There is not a lot of margin for error on these plays, but Jeremy Jeffress does not know where this runner is. He has to listen to his catcher, and Jonathan Lucroy was loud and clear that he wanted him to take his play to third base. Excellent job by the Rangers all the way around.
Now Doug Brocail on a jog out there again. Hey, MLB.TV Premium is back and better than ever. You can watch every out-of-market regular season game live on over 400 supported devices. Plus, get a free subscription to @Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions do apply. Visit MLB.TV for details.
That's an interesting meeting for me because there's no pitching around, I don't think. Spangenberger right now, no chance with the tying run already in scoring position. And you see a guy in Spangenberger who struck out 3 times already tonight.
You can't help yourself.
I say it's Burger again. I did it. I've talked myself into it, man.
He's not a burger.
I think he should just change his name. I mean, let's be honest, that's the least he could do.
Well, high bouncer second base. This might be better. The turn from Andrews in time, and they got him at first. That double play will end the inning, pending an obvious interest in a review here.
Well, it certainly did look close as we watched it live, but we'll get a much better look at it on the replay. But Jeremy Jeffress delivers with a really good 2-seam fastball, as you see Mike Napoli stretching, and it's a matter of whether or not Spangenberg got his left foot on the bag. It was hard to tell from that angle. See if this left foot gets down. It does. He's going to be called safe.
Yep, so the inning will continue. Green was successful on a review earlier and challenging this call, and it will get overturned.
Hopefully here for the case of Major League Baseball that this will happen fast. It's obviously easier for us as we get it turned around really quickly, and yeah, they're going to make this decision very fast. Call is safe.
And that is a big challenge and a big overturn because Spangenberg at first, Torrens at third now, but there are 2 out in the inning. The big thing here is it gets Will Myers to the plate. Myers, you see the good numbers, 303 average, has the home run in tonight's game. And he's been a hits machine. 43 hits now up to the moment, 6th most in all of Major League Baseball. It's got the go-ahead run at third, and Spangenberg at first.
Jeffress has got to be careful because down and in is a good spot for Will Myers. He has been good on fastballs down and in. Jeremy Jeffress' strength, of course, is that 2-seam fastball. This is one of those situations where the strength of the pitcher maybe does not work as well when you start looking at the strength of the hitter, especially when you look at RBIs on the road there for Will Myers, who has been very good this year.
Tie game, 7th inning. Look out. 2-0.
There's so much great information available to us, but looking at fastballs against right-handed pitchers, it's very odd to look at the numbers that Will Myers has. Inside and down, inside and middle, inside and up. They're all really, really strong. Batting averages at 490, 520, 612, excuse me, slugging percentage. He's been very good on the fastball inside.
Well, Jeffress needs to come up with something good here. Ooh, big swing and a miss.
Now what he's got is that great extra movement. You see on our Fox tracks where that pitch ended up. And if you can get Will Myers in swing mode like he was right there on a 2-0 count, that could actually work to Jeremy's advantage. You never want to be pitching behind the count. But when you have live movement, look where the ball ended up finishing. You should see it show up. It was a ball when it was all said and done. But Will Myers likes that fastball in. His eyes lit up, but the late movement got to him.
This one flared out to right. Mazzara is there, and the inning is over. Padres leave him on the corners. They'll stand and stretch here tonight. Tie game. Man on the moon watching tonight. That's quite the shot. There's Brad Hand in his 16th appearance on a relief here for Perdomo.
Yeah, and a strong lefty coming out of this pen. And the San Diego Padres are deep in left-handed pitching. They have 3 of them down there in their bullpen, which gives them that opportunity to match up. We talked about it earlier as far as where the Rangers are and the lefties that they wanted all in the lineup tonight against the starter Perdomo. The downside of that, of course, is that there's some really strong lefties that come out of that San Diego Padres bullpen.
First pitch to Gallo. Up and in. Tonight's Cold Hard Facts brought to you by Clean Crisp Coors Light. Rangers have leaned on the home run in a big way. Yeah, they are not far. Well, in fact, they're just slightly ahead of pace. The record-setting Blue Jays of 2010. A little better than 53% of all runs scored for the Rangers this year have come on homers. None tonight. Gallo leads the team, in fact, second in the American League with 11 home runs. But in a hole here, 1 and 2.
And not a big surprise that they have been unable to hit any so far, at least against the starter Perdomo. I mentioned it. No extra base hits to righties all year, just the 1 home run allowed on the season. And Hand has been a guy who's also done a very nice job of keeping the ball in the ballpark.
Gallo down swinging, 1 away in the 7th inning. Time for a Chevy game break. Let's send it back to Dana Larson at the studios.
Left fielder, Delino DeShields.
Thanks, Dana. 3-3 our score here. Shields got on via the fielder's choice last time up, but he's 0 for 2. We saw Hand Monday night. He went an inning and 2/3 in Monday's game. He gave up a home run to Shin-Soo Choo, who waits on deck.
He is not a one-dimensional left-handed relief pitcher. You mentioned the inning and 2/3 on that outing, and for Andy Green, he feels comfortable using Hand. 136 against lefties is that batting average against, but just 167 against righties. 14 strikeouts and 2 walks against right-handed hitters. So this is a lefty with 2 different breaking ball, slider, and a curveball, and a guy that you can use against both left-handed and right-handed hitters.
Rangers got their first run of the first inning. They added 2 in the 5th. 3 runs on 7 hits tonight, no errors. They have stranded 4. And DeShields takes a 4-pitch walk. On a game like this, that can be an enormous play because DeShields very much a threat to be moving.
Yeah, not a bad idea to try to get aggressive here with Shin-Soo Choo. Elvis Andrews due up, trying to get Delino DeShields, who's an excellent runner, into scoring position. Both of those guys, one shot to drive him in.
Padres gave a look like they were going to get real aggressive with the defensive alignment. Spangenberg was racing from third base over to play more of a modified second, but then they pulled him back quickly with Choo up there, because Choo could easily have bunted his way on. This one gets away and DeShields stays put.
No stolen bases against Brad Hand so far this year. Last year, base runner successful 11 out of 13 times. So it's a lot of stolen bases for a left-handed reliever to be giving up in 11.
1 ball, 1 strike to Chu, was 3 for 3 tonight in the leadoff spot. Chu has scored a run. That move putting him in the leadoff spot today has paid off nicely. Chu batted leadoff yesterday as well, scored a couple of runs. Not a big lead for the Shields, but they will check him anyway.
Yeah, it was a short lead, but he was leaning, and now Will Myers is going to go over and talk to Hand. That's the other issue for Torrens, who's so early in his career. Has yet to throw out a base runner. 3 for 3 is a success rate, and now Torrens is going to go out.
A lot of meetings.
And talk to Hand. Make sure that they have everything straight, but I've talked about this before. Some great base runners will tell you it's not always about the size of the lead. Sometimes they'll actually shorten up with a left-handed pitcher and try to get him maybe to get a little bit lazy on you or forget about you. But Delino looked like he was leaning there a little bit, but you never know. Is that the intentional lean to get in the head of the hitter, and hopefully he makes a mistake to the hitter, to the batter?
Called strike, makes it 1-2. Chu now counting his 3 times tonight. He has reached base safely 7 times in his last 8 trips up in this series. That's a big one right here, though.
I'd like to see him go here. You got to be thinking potential breaking ball. It's going to be out of the zone. This would be, for me, a good time to run.
Not going.
Delino there, I don't know.
That was a weird jump. That
well,
was
he might have been thinking about it, realized he broke a little bit early and changed his mind. Or again, he could just be messing with the pitcher. He got the breaking ball that was in the dirt. But take a look here. I don't know if he was going or if he was trying to. He might have been. Would have been a good pitch to go on, but he got that little half break, didn't like it, and decided if he was going, never mind.
leaning big time now. He says, "Aloha, my name is Mr. Hand."
You could almost guarantee a throw over after that. When you see a guy flinch like that, whether it was a fake break or not, as a left-handed pitcher, you're going to go ahead and throw over there, just in case he was going and if you can catch him leaning. Because your thought is he's not reading me well when you see that false break.
Almost did it again. Got back. Wow.
He's fast twitchy. I mean, to be able to change directions like that. We'll see. I mean, this is an important part of the game. You think about, again, trying to get in scoring position, top of the lineup that's up right now. If it doesn't work out, obviously it's not ideal, but the Rangers will still get the middle of the order up. It's a good time to go for it.
2-2, not running, and it's a full count. You send him here?
I like the idea of sending him throughout this at bat, so yes, I don't have a problem with it. We've seen the off-speed pitches. Hand is obviously comfortable, but he's also seen Shin-Soo Choo lay off them pretty well, so he doesn't want to walk him. He knows he's a good on-base percentage guy. I got to believe he'll be pretty aggressive with a slider or a fastball here. Now, Hand does that. It's not a good move, but what he's hoping to get and to see something is potentially if Delino DeShields is going first move, right? That's one of the advantages with a left-handed pitcher, especially if you get a base runner that's guessing. And if you're just going to go on that first move as soon as you lift that leg up, and even a half-hearted move sometimes can result in a pickoff.
Delino is going. Not a very good jump, but it's ball 4. A Choo on all 4 times, and now Hand is walked a potential go-ahead run into scoring position.
It's amazing. He went 4 breaking balls in a row there. He hit on 1, but then missed on 2. I thought for sure there's no way he'd go back to the breaking ball again. He wasn't tricking Shin-Soo Choo, but he decided to stay with it, and the Rangers will take it. Brad Hand has just walked a potential go-ahead run into scoring position.
Now Elvis. Has 1 hit tonight. Andrews batting second for Jeff Bannister. And now time called right before that pitch was to be delivered. Ooh.
And remember, Ellis kind of attempted, looked like, to maybe try to bunt for a base hit. He showed that earlier with the runner on third. It's okay, was it the safety squeeze maybe, but look where Will Myers is right now. And you have a left-handed pitcher who falls off to the third base side. A push bunt right here. I'm not saying he should do it, but we've seen him show it before. If he gets it down, it would be an automatic base hit.
Well, you got world-class speed at second base. 2 runs well at first. And Hand right now having a little trouble finding the strike zone consistently. And it's 2-0. And that is some cause for concern. Darren Balsley, the pitching coach, heading out there to have a word with him. And you can see double barrel action. Torres and Yates both going in the Padres pen.
The Hand has never had exceptional control, but he's had pretty good control, and this year has been one of his better seasons. He's walking just 2.5 per 9 right now. It's just been 5 walks in his 17 2/3 innings coming into this game. But prior to that, he was always a guy that kind of sat in the 3s, and for whatever reason now, it just doesn't look comfortable. He's missing with both the fastball and the slider. Listen, Elvis Andrus is hitting second, so you green light him here, you let him go, you don't hold him back, but he's sitting in a really nice spot where you get locked into one pitch in one area. If it's there, you let it fly, and if not, you got a guy struggling, you let it go.
2-0 pitch.
That was it right there. That was the aggressive swing from Elvis Andrus. Got that 94-mile-an-hour fastball where he wanted it. Unfortunately, a little bit late and ended up fouling it back. Two-seamer, not a lot of run on it. Got something there. Bird in left field. Was that a bat? Or just a bird? They have bats around here?
I suppose you could have
just a
bats
bird
anywhere. Just a bird.
All right.
Seems like he's fine, right?
He'll be on his way soon enough.
It's all right, dude.
It's tough being the guy from the ground crew that's got to go out and get him, right? You got to be very careful. Can't squeeze too tight.
A weird inning for Hand so far. The 2-1 pitch. And a grounder, third base. Spangenberg to second. On to first, and that one gets away and up into the seats. And that's going to score a run. Rangers take the lead on an error at second base. Solarte just let it fly.
Now, whatever it takes at this point for the Rangers, a balk that scores a run to tie the game, and now an error here on what probably should have been a relatively routine double play. You see Elvis Andrus here gets a fastball middle away, pulls it in the ground right to Spangenberg to throw to Solarte. He had all day to make the throw, but he ends up yanking it a little bit. Will Myers can't get off the bag to get it. And I almost wonder for Will Myers, who's converted first baseman, as you see Delano DeShields just trot home. It looked like he might have extended a little bit too early on that as a first baseman. So Jeff Bannister there certainly will take it any way that he can get it.
Andy Green is asking the umpires to take a look at, I believe, the interaction over at third base. And that is Delano DeShields running in front of Spangenberg.
Well, he can stand right in front of Delano DeShields, right in front of Spangenberg if he wants. So I don't know if they're asking for what's happening at third as we get a look at the replay, or is he asking what happened at second? Shin-Chu Chu. And he got down. It wasn't pretty. And it was before the bag, but I don't see anything there. But look, that throw is offline a little bit, but it does look like to me that Will Myers may have stretched a little bit too early and committed too early before he actually saw the throw.
So apparently challenging the slide rule. It's weird because when he came out, it looked like he was gesturing toward third base.
Yeah, I thought so too. Or toward the bullpen. I wasn't exactly sure what was going on and what they were asking for, but Andy Green. Let's take a look here at Shin-Soo Choo, and there's new rules. I mean, bona fide slide and making sure. I mean, he got down a little bit late, but he wasn't at the bag yet.
Didn't make any contact.
No, you don't have to. Listen, if you're 3/4 of the way to second base, there's no rule that says you got to slide and get out of the way. A little fake out there for the umpires.
Here comes our call. Yeah, everybody's safe. It is an error. The run counts for the shot, but Andy Green now.
I mean,
no
it's
challenges left.
It would be dumb not to slide, and Shin-Soo Choo did it just a little bit late. But you're not required to slide that far in front.
So the other part of this now is that Andrews, he got to go to second on the error. He's in scoring position here, representing another very big run. If Mazara can somehow come through with a hit here. Mazara 1 for 2, was intentionally walked his last time up. Lefty on lefty. Earlier in the year, Mazara was showing some real improvement against left-handed pitching. Done some real good battle with some tough lefties. In a hole here, 0-2.
That's a good breaking ball from Brad Hand. We saw him struggle to get that pitch across the plate against Shin-Soo Choo, but he has come back and delivered 2 very good ones to Nomar Mazara. And I have no problem with Nomar going after either one of those. You have a runner in scoring position, see something comes out of the pitcher's hands that you like, you get aggressive, you go after it. Those have just been breaking balls with some really strong finish on them.
Now in protect mode at 0-2. And this is where it's been tough for a lot of Rangers hitters when they fall behind in counts and tempted with a lot of pitches outside of the zone. They have seen a lot of off-speed stuff, a lot of pitches on the periphery of the zone, and it has caused them trouble lately. I guess that Hand will continue to nibble around the edges. Hits Mazara, and so 2 runners on now, and that was certainly not intentionally.
No, Nomar will take that. I think he wasn't seeing that breaking ball very well, and Hand kind of guided this one a little bit. He shook to the slider. Oh, Torrance wanted a fastball, but you see him just kind of fly open a little bit early. The arm is late. The slider hangs and hits Nomar.
Oh, the inning continues. And what a mess it has been for Hand. He has allowed the go-ahead run. The Rangers have done it without the benefit of a hit yet. A couple of walks, a hit batter, an error.
He's under 40% strike so far in this outing. The walks, the hit by pitch, falling behind. Certainly not where he wants to be.
It's high, 2-0.
Perdomo kind of watching as this inning gets away from the San Diego Padres, and he threw a pretty good game. 6 innings, 7 hits, did have 4 walks. Also 7 strikeouts, just one short of his career high.
This will be the 25th pitch of the inning, and it's now 2-1 on Gomez.
See there, more balls than strikes. Brad Hand just has not been comfortable so far in this outing, and the Rangers have taken advantage of it. But there's an opportunity to really cash in and try to add some insurance here in the 7th.
Two and two. Now Gomez has had a tough night. 3 strikeouts so far. The one before the ball game today talking about the combination of this team getting going offensively along with the great starting pitching that they've got. If they could gear it up a little bit offensively, thinks they could go on a bit of a run here. Today 4 runs on 7 hits. Holds off and takes strike 3, so the inning is done. But the Rangers get in front. They scratch out a run and take a lead into the 8th. Some early scoring in this one, but the Rangers have done the late scoring. They've taken a 4-3 lead. A couple of solo home runs for the Padres, and Shin-Soo Choo, another real good game at the plate on all 4 times. Has stolen a base, been very busy.
Scored a run, drove in a run, been a full night for Shin-Soo Choo, and 2 home runs, maybe the biggest surprise early on against Yu Darvish, but the Rangers clinging on, 6 outs, get themselves a victory here tonight in Arlington.
Well, Alex Claudio comes the 3rd pitcher of the night. Jeffers put up the scoreless 7th.
Claudio will get an opportunity here as you get to the part of this San Diego lineup where it's a switch hitter in Solarte, a lefty in Shimp, another switch hitter in Ibar as Ryan Ruin now takes over in left field for Delano DeShields.
Strike 1 to Solarte. It was 0 for 3.
Pretty even numbers for Solarte. I know it's still early in the season, but .265 batting average against left-handed hitters, .264 should be pitchers against right-handed pitchers. So left and right splits, not much of a difference as far as the batting average goes here for Solarte.
Claudio gets him to bounce 1 to short. Right to Elvis Andrus. 1 out in the 8th inning. So Mother's Day's coming up this Sunday. No better way to celebrate than by taking mom out to the ballpark. Rangers and A's, a 2:05 game. And the first 15,000 fans 14 and older will get a Mother's Day Rangers Infinity Scarf. Get your tickets at TexasRangers.com or by calling 972-RANGERS. Well, Alex Claudio, there's no role that he hasn't filled. Long relief. We saw him start on the last road trip when he had to jump in a very last second for Cole Hamels. 3 days after that, got his first career save. Now today, acting as apparently the setup man. And this one ripped foul, 1-1.
I say he's been pretty invaluable to the Texas Rangers bullpen. We know that there's been struggles for the club this year and for the pen. But he's been consistent, and you mentioned, different roles. We talk about utility players and guys that can play different positions. Well, Alex has become a utility pitcher for the Rangers, and he's really delivered all year.
This ball hit high in the air down the right field line. Could be trouble. Foul.
Ooh, that was close.
Strike two.
That was close and hard to read. Alex let the breaking ball out over the plate. We talked about Schimpf and the power that he has displayed this year, but he was trying to sweep this breaking ball and it stayed kind of middle in. The ball is foul. Alex, you can throw that pitch again. Just got to make sure that you get it away, start at middle, and let it sweep off the plate. Try to get the swing and miss.
This ball hit hard and caught by Odor. What a leaping grab.
I thought for sure this was a hit off the bat, as Rougned Odor is letting everybody in the dugout know exactly just how high he jumped to be able to get that ball. Tell Elvis, watch that replay on the big screen. This is everything that Rougned Odor has as you see him get ready. I mean, look at him get up. Man, I thought that was a hit right off the bat. Great play. I want to make sure Elvis saw it. Hey, did you see how high I got? Check out that vertical. Alex certainly happy that he made that play.
Wow, here is Eric Ibar.
And you're watching that, Alex is watching it, and yeah, I'll give you the applause you're looking for.
1-1 to Ibar. Well, really, that was a heck of a jump. Claudio gets Ibar to start after that one, but he held off, and it's 2-1.
He loves throwing that changeup to righties. I love watching him do it. It is such a difficult pitch. You look at the velocity, you think, okay, well, he's a sidearm lefty, and righties will probably see that ball pretty well, but he locates it down. The velocity is slow in a good way that really keeps right-handed hitters off balance. And then it makes that 87 look a lot harder than it really is.
Just missed. 3-1 the count. See if he comes back with that changeup. Ooh, runs it in tight. And so Ibar will walk with 2 out. Keone Kela looks like he's ready out of the bullpen. In fact, looks like he is on the way in. Jeff Bannister out of the dugout, and Claudio putting the tying run on. That will spin the end of his evening. So we'll be back in a moment. Kelly coming on.
John's delivery of the game, and it was the night that Yu Darvish had the full repertoire in effect tonight. You see the breaking balls there on the strikeouts. A big number for me, though. Look at the 0 on the walks. First time for him in 2017. Boy, did that slow breaking ball look good tonight. 71% strikes for Yu Darvish. I think average usually around 63, 64. Good night for Yu Darvish.
Well, here's Keone Kela on the pitching change. He fires one into Renfroe. 11th appearance this year for Kela. Man at first, 2 away. Rangers leading by a run. That one had some hair on it, just missed.
It sure did. There was a little bit of a grunt on that 96-mile-an-hour fastball from Keone Kela.
Not much of a lead over there for Ibar, but he'll draw a throw anyway. Matt Caesar waits on deck. He's had some real good at-bats tonight. Kela's 1-1. Very high. Well, Caesar 3 for 3 tonight. So this is a very important at-bat for Kela.
You want to be careful. We heard him kind of grunting and overthrowing there a little bit. And Hunter Renfroe, fastball hitter, showing some power. Location becomes more important than velocity in a 2-1 count here.
That evens it up at 2-2. So Kela a strike away from getting through this 8th inning. Bottom of the 8th, we'll have Odor, Lucroy, and Napoli due. Currently a 4-3 Rangers lead. This one popped up. Andrus is there. And we'll go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Sometimes the pitching's really good. Sometimes it's even better when you get defensive help like that from Rougned Odor.
How high?
Lead it off.
That high. How about our AT&T high-speed replay in a big moment on what should have likely been an inning-ending double play, but instead it's an error. Ball that goes into the stands on the late slide by Shin-Chu, but I think okay. And Delino DeShields trots home in an all-important 4th run that could be the difference in this ball game right now, and has been. And If it holds up, I got to believe the San Diego Padres might be kicking themselves a little bit. We mentioned the third run of the game for the Rangers that was scored on a balk, and now the fourth run that was scored on that box double play.
Well, Jose Torres comes on here in the 8th inning.
How are those ratios right there? You like 20 strikeouts to 1 walk? It's pretty good. I like pitching and being successful.
Now, what's weird is his earned run average is still over 5.5.
Yeah, you're right. They've gotten to him at times, but he's not getting himself in trouble by walking hitters.
It was right after Odor, who's 1 for 3. Over the double back of the 2nd inning. Just made the great defensive play in the top of the 8th. And it's 1-1. First of 2 against the Padres here at Globe Life Park. We're back out here again tomorrow night. Clayton Richard will be going for San Diego. And Martin Perez will have the ball for the Rangers. Seen a lot of youth from the San Diego Padres. Their starter tonight, Luis Perdomo, just turned 24 years old. Torres on here is 23 and change. And he runs the count to 3-1 on Odor.
And you see the good live arm from Torres, and that fastball up at 96, 97 miles an hour. The slider. This is secondary pitch, really pretty much a 2-pitch pitcher, but the one we've seen so far, he hasn't used it much, but a little flat, a little underneath it so far in this at bat to Rougned Odor.
Odor smashes that one just foul. Boy, that was right on the line.
It certainly was, and Odor would like to have it. I think he knows it probably was foul. That's the one thing with instant replay now too, is I think a lot of guys, when they wish something happened, they'll kind of point in the dugout and say, hey, can we take a look at it? But anything that is in front of the base is not reviewable. And that's what this call was. He got out in front of that one just a little bit. Let's take a look at this angle here. That's close. It's a judgment that's, you know, what happens to that baseball over the bag, not where it lands, but where it goes over the bag. That is not a reviewable play.
So full count now on Odor. When he hits it right back at Torres. Wow, knocked it down, makes a play, but that one hurt.
It looks like it caught him in his glove hand. Let's take a look at this replay and see exactly where this ball caught Torres. To fastball, Odor takes it right back up the middle, hits it hard. Oh, it caught him right on the forearm, like above the wrist. And when these situations happen, you see him pick up the ball and make a perfect throw. It's like your body doesn't react when the play is still going on and something like this, but then he knew it right away. Threw his glove down. I knew that one stung.
And that one at 105 miles per hour off the bat of Odor.
Caught all forearm. Nothing slowed it down. Let's see it. As Matt Bush is taking his warm-up throws, he'll be out. Expected to be out in the 9th inning for the Rangers. I guess put a big rally together that could keep Matt Bush maybe in the bullpen, but Torres wants to make sure that he can still squeeze his glove, and that's going to be it.
So Torres leaves, and the new pitcher for San Diego will have as much time as he possibly needs to get ready. We'll be back with him in just a moment.
Rangers lead the Padres 4-3. Well, when we walked into the clubhouse tonight, all of the players and Jeff Bannister himself was wearing this shirt, Party at Napoli's. It is a slogan that Mike Napoli has made very popular over the last several years, and now he's using it for a good cause. You can actually buy this t-shirt tomorrow here at the gift shop or the one in downtown Fort Worth or at 108stitches.com, and a portion of the proceeds will benefit the new Texas Rangers Youth Academy in West Dallas. I actually had a chance to talk to Luke Croy about this before the game because he had the shirt on, and I said, what is a party at Napoli's? Have you ever been to one? And he said, no, I've never been invited, guys, but he said now that he has the t-shirt, he at least feels a little bit better about it. Dave?
Well, that should be automatic admission to the party.
And by the way, same for me. I don't know about you. Uninvited. But I got a shirt, so I feel like that's kind of like the get in free, skip the line pass.
Yep.
It's a highly coveted shirt, too.
All right, Kirby Yates will take over here for Jose Torres, who left after taking that 105-mile-per-hour liner off his wrist.
So this is a situation that no reliever likes. Pitchers are creatures of habit. You're used to taking your warm-ups in the bullpen. Come out, you get your 7 or 8, whatever you want to take, under the 2 minutes, whatever, 2 and change now. That you have to get it done, and they make you do your warm-ups out here on the big mound. So if you want 25 or 30 or whatever it is, you can do it, but it's very uncomfortable for relief pitchers. They generally don't enjoy this. And then, of course, like you said, as we go to break, hey, take as much time as you want, right? But there's a part of you, like if you're a people pleaser, you feel like you're like Judge Smales is sitting there from Caddyshack, like, well, we're waiting. You just feel like everybody in the ballpark is waiting for you. It's a very uncomfortable feeling for a reliever.
Yeah, I would think that would not be fun at all.
I mean, it's weird. You rush. A lot of times you just rush, and you're not. Am I right? I don't know if I'm ready. It's a different kind of feeling than when you warm up out in the bullpen.
Well, he is determined to be ready anyway, and here's Jonathan Lucroy with 1 out and nobody on, and Yates pumps in strike 1. We saw Yates yesterday. He pitched the 8th inning, walked Chu, and then got 3 straight outs. He jumps ahead of Lucroy here, 0-2. So bottom of the 8th, a 1-run lead. And we saw shots earlier. Matt Bush looks like he's ready to come out for the 9th inning. When we get there, he'll have the 8, 9, and then leadoff hitters from the Padres. And of course, the bottom of the order, man, it has been a challenge at times this year. There's Bush, and there you see it. Caesar, Torrens, and Margot. Caesar 3 for 3 tonight.
And that also affects Matt Bush because this inning has become a little bit longer, right? The phone call goes down after Keone Keller gets the pop up, and Matt Bush, you have the 9th.
Line drive right field, and that's a base hit. Lucroy with 2 hits and a walk tonight.
This is a really nice approach from Jonathan Lucroy, not trying to do too much. Getting a pitch to handle, lining it to right field. That pitch, fastball, kind of middle away, a little bit down, but look at the head down and watch him just watch that ball go into right field, not trying to do too much, not trying to pull off that ball or hit it into the left field stands. Just want to see from Jonathan Lucroy, like you said, good night for him, a couple of hits and a walk, and he's caught a good game as well.
Napoli's hit into a couple of double plays already tonight. And Yates gets him to pop this one up. Back of short. Ibar is out there. But it's Caesar. And there are 2 away. Well, the Rangers take on the A's this Saturday, and the first 15,000 fans will be treated to an Elvis Andrus high five bobblehead presented by Dr. Pepper and Tom Thumb. It's the first in a series of 2 high-fiving bobbleheads. You can get your tickets at TexasRangers.com or by calling 972-RANGERS. Lucroy is on, and here is Gallo, who is 0 for 2 tonight with a walk. Joey had a couple of hits yesterday, including a home run. And on that last road trip out to the West Coast, he had 6 hits on the road trip. 4 of them were home runs. One just missed, and it's 1-1 to Gallo.
Well, we certainly have seen a more patient Joey Gallo, a hitter that understands the strike zone a little bit more, has been more patient as far as understanding what he is looking for. A little surprised once in a while to see him taking some strikes as well. I mean, that's been, I don't want to say the downside, but one of the effects of being a little bit more patient once we've seen him take more strikes as well.
Comes up empty, and it's 1-2. Strikeouts been a big part of the game, always have been for him. He has 53 at the moment, most in the American League. But he's also second in the league with 11 home runs, so it's sort of the trade-off at the moment in Joey's game. One-two pitch from Yates is off the plate. 3 runs, 9 hits, 1 error, and a very big error at that for San Diego. They've left 7 men on base. Rangers 4 runs, 8 hits, no errors, and they have stranded 6. Two-two, and that strikeout will end the inning. Rangers leave a man. We go to the 9th. Matt Bush coming on to try and close this one out.
and 3 outs away from making it official here at Globe Life Park in Arlington. Dana Larson here reminding you we'll have the post-game show coming up right after the game. Mike Bassick will be with us. Mark McLemore will be here as well. We'll take you into the clubhouse for player reaction. Of course, we'll hear from Jeff Bannister as well as setting up tomorrow's series finale with Martin Perez on the hill. And elsewhere in baseball, we had Cleveland and Toronto in a rematch of the ALCS, and it was a wild one. We'll have the highlights of that and so much more. It's all coming up on the post-game show right after the game. Dave and CJ, back to you guys.
Right on. Thanks, Dana. And here's Matt Bush to try and finish this one off, a 2-0 record, and looking for just his second save as the Rangers closer.
There haven't been that many opportunities Matt Bush has not thrown in a few days. Last game he appeared in was back on May 5th in Seattle. Back-to-back outings where he threw more than 20 pitches. So of course you try to get that guy off in that day in that kind of situation. Well, he since had 4 days off, so it's part of the bullpen, feast or famine.
Well, he gets ahead of Matt Caesar, 0-2. Caesar with 3 singles. No, pardon me, 2 singles and a double so far tonight. Drove in a big run in the second inning. Padres got a run of the first on a home run by Will Myers. They got 2 in the second inning, but since that second inning, it's been fairly quiet. The Rangers today have tacked on the late runs, and in doing so, have the lead in this critical 9th inning, trying to make it 2 in a row over the San Diego Padres. This ball hit hard, but right to Elvis Andrus. Caesar is out, 1 away.
Well, the first one can sometimes be the toughest one of an inning. It looked like Caesar put a pretty decent swing on this ball, but hits it right at Elvis Andrus. Matt Bush will certainly take it for his first out of the inning.
And Austin Hedges announced as the pinch hitter, so he is on to bat here. Hedges, right-handed hitter, and hits this ball sharply foul. It's the second time this year that Hedges has been used as a pinch hitter. 0 for 1 in these spots. Big breaking ball falls in for strike 2.
When you think about pinch hitting, coming out swinging at a fastball earlier, then Matt Bush just drops that breaking ball on you. That's one with some tight spin. Got Hedges out there.
And he fans on 3 pitches. Hedges, the second out of the inning.
That's quick work of the pinch hitter by Matt Bush, and finishing off Austin Hedges with a fastball that he had no chance at catching up to.
So 2 away. And Margot, he swings and misses 99 miles per hour. His stuff is as electric as anybody's in baseball.
And this, people may not love this phrase, it's an easy 100 right there, right? It's not an overthrow. He's not grunting. It's not violent. The ball just comes out of Matt Bush's hands free and easy and touches triple digits.
Strike 2. And it's all heat right now to Margot. Haven't been many opportunities for Bush since becoming the closer. And a line drive right field. That's a base hit. Margot will turn first, and he is out to second base in scoring position. A double for Margot.
credit the hitter right here, because it's a pretty good pitch here from Matt Bush. Looks like a fastball down and away. Margot takes it the other way, but also a really nice play by Nomar Mazara trying to cut this ball off. He knew it was going to get down. He knew most likely it was going to be extra bases, but if this ball had gotten to the wall, it's right at that corner where it could have bounced right and very easily turned into a triple. So nice job by Nomar to make sure that he got to that ball and cut it off.
Now Corey Spangenberg. Spangenberg 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. Bush is the 5th pitcher of the night for the Rangers, and he pumps in strike 1.
At 100 on the corner. Unless you're cheating as a left-handed hitter, you're going to have a pretty difficult time catching up to that.
I mean, even if you are cheating.
You try to get the barrel to it.
Oh, 2. Well, they had a crowd of 24,350 announced here tonight. And they're all up on their feet in hopes of seeing Matt Bush put this one in the win column.
Love to see an elevated fastball here or that breaking ball down in the dirt. There it is. After the 3-pitch strikeout to the pinch hitter Hedges, be a little bit more careful when you get ahead 0-2. And so now we'll see if Matt Bush goes hard in again, or if he tries to use that breaking ball to finish off Spangenberg.
The 1-2. And it is tight. Well, we got Caesar to line out to short, struck out Hedges on 3 pitches. Margot and a good at bat doubled. Padres down to their last strike. And this one fouled out of play. Rangers have had 8 wins at home this year. The 2-2 pitch, and there's a swing and a miss, strike 3. That one corralled by Lucroy, will put the tag on Spangenberg, and it's over. A save for Matt Bush, and the Rangers beat the Padres 4-3.
A nice job by Matt Bush to finish this one off. The 4th strikeout of the night for Corey Spangenberg, but it was the high fastball prior to this pitch that set up the breaking ball down in the dirt. Spangenberg cannot hold up. Like you mentioned, nice job by Jonathan Lucroy to get down, keep that ball in front of him, square it up. Spangenberg didn't even bother trying to run to first as Matt Bush closes it out here for the Texas Rangers.
Matt Bush, 17 pitches, 14 of them for strikes, and a lot of them unhittable at 99 or 100 miles per hour. So a little power game out of the bullpen late. Yoni Kella at the final out of the 8th inning, and then Matt Bush with that big arm for his 2nd save of the year.
Yeah, nice boost for the bullpen. We know there's been some struggles this year, but to pick up 3 innings, watch Jeff Bannister have to mix and match a little bit, especially in that 8th inning. He's both a lefty and a righty to get through it. This is a nice, clean outing here for the Texas Rangers bullpen.
All right, well, a lot yet to come. Dana Larson, Mark McLemore, Mike Bassick, they're waiting to break down this one tonight. And this Rangers offense, the way they scratched out a lot of runs tonight. Of course, all the player reactions and analysis as well. We'll be talking about the bullpen coming up big in this one tonight. Of course, before we do any of that, we need to sit it down to Leslie, who's standing by with the offensive hero of the night.
You're exactly right. My goodness, you've had quite the series, and again tonight, you've got on base every single time. What was the secret to your success?
Well, I'll try getting better all the time, every at bat. You know, try my drive approach in the back of the box. You know, chasing the strike. That's what I want to do every at bat. So I think it's success last couple of games. You know, win tonight, that'd be great.
I'm just gonna go ahead and let them do that. Okay, I'm no rookie, so I got out of the way of that one.
All right, I feel good.
All right, you ready to go again?
Yeah.
Okay, well, 2 wins now in a row for this club. It seems like you guys were patient tonight, capitalized off of their mistakes. How'd you guys do that?
Well, actually, San Diego played better than us tonight, but we did a spring training, better base running, less mistake another team, to give it just 27 out. Just, I think, exactly good example tonight games, good base running, less errors. That's where we're at tonight.
Yeah, what'd you think of the job you did tonight and the relievers not giving up any runs late in the game?
Well, it's first game start homestand. So hopefully carry this game and then get a great homestand. Yeah.
All right, I'm going to let you go clean up now. Go get warm. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks, Leslie. And thank you to Shin-Soo Choo. Nice win tonight for the Rangers. 4-3 the final score. For CJ Nikowski, Leslie McCaslin, and our entire crew, this is Dave Raymond inviting you to stay with us. Rangers Live postgame show starts right after this.